most days of the week. And he'll be there schooling some ignorant creep or catch him on a gaming whim. But this ain't a game to him. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. You could be a Bradley's baddie too. So join Jovan and get your critical cap on. 'Cause there's a Bradley's baddie inside of me and you.
What's up, y'all? Mandisa Thomas here, inviting you to be in 2026 Revival of Reason in Atlanta, Georgia. From June 12th through the 14th, join us at the Atlanta Free Thought Hall and Pavilion, where we will be celebrating 15 years of Black non-believers with food, fun, serious discussions, live entertainment, and more. Speakers include Chris Cameron, Candace Gorham, Detroit Atheist Queen, The Friendly Atheist, Godless Engineer, Cynthia McDonald, yours truly, and more. Get your tickets today at blacknonbelievers.org or scan that QR code below. Also, you can book your room at our special group room rate at the Comfort Inn, Atlanta, Smyrna. Official BN members get a discount, so please make sure you become an official member today. Sponsorship opportunities are also available, as well as discounted student rates. Thank you so much for helping us celebrate 15 years as Black non-believers, and we will see you soon.
Hello everybody, welcome to stream. I hope you guys are here chilling. I hope you guys are here. I hope you guys are happy. Welcome to my co-host today. Everybody say shout out to John, aka Godless Engineer.
What up? How you doing? How's everybody in the chat doing?
Hopefully they're chilling, man. We are back with another Theist day. I didn't get enough of yelling at Christians yesterday, so we're back to tell them how wrong they are.
Now, was it feast or famine yesterday with the Theists?
God, it was very middle of the road. It was not as crazy as it usually is, but I think I get the crazier calls in the morning, and we were on at night yesterday.
Yeah.
So, when you're on at night, I was up against Matt, I was up against Justin. So the pick of the litter is very short.
Yeah, no, I experienced that too. Hopefully I'm not warding people off, because it seems like whenever I go live, people don't take me seriously. I don't know why.
No, we're gonna get some good callers today. Guys, 219-327-8005 is the number to call if you want to debate. We are looking for Christians who want to prove to us that their beliefs are good, convince us that your God is real. That can be for anybody, by the way. That's not just Christians. Just anybody try to convince us God is real. Convince us that the Christian God is good. That's my favorite of the topics. So like anyone that wants to call about that, gang, gang. Convince us the Bible is true, right? You're not gonna be able to do that. Convince us Jesus was the Messiah. You might even want to try to convince John Jesus even existed.
Yeah, for y'all in the chat, I'm a mythicist, so I don't think that Jesus existed as a historical person, and I feel like that catches atheists as well as theists out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like fully against that camp. I'm very agnostic on the existence of Jesus as a person. I don't think the evidence for his existence is strong enough for me to be like, oh, he absolutely was a real dude. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, it's plausible. I always say the same thing. It's plausible that a man named Jesus of Nazareth existed. It's unlikely that, or what do I say? It's plausible that a man named Jesus existed, but it is completely not likely that, I don't remember what I say. There was another P word, but it wasn't probable. I didn't use probable and plausible. What did I use? I don't know, but there's no way Jesus Christ existed, right? Jesus of
Right.
Nazareth, possibly. Jesus Christ, absolutely fucking not. You can also try to convince us the resurrection is real. You're not gonna be able to do that either. But you can try. 219-327-8005. I gotta say, I do always love when I have a guest who has been doing this in the same vein like I have, because I know that like there will be like less dead air, because John is also used to hosting shows. So it's like, hey.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps being seasoned at it, because otherwise people don't know like how to sort of riff in between and get people to call in. So yeah, I'm definitely seasoned in that aspect.
What real quick, where can people find you, John? Like, where can they find your content?
Yeah, so mostly it's going to be over there on the YouTube. For anybody that's not on YouTube right now, it's on YouTube at Godless Engineer. I also have a clips channel where I've been putting up clips of like my discussions. Some of the, less contentious stuff. It's just Godless Engineer clips too there. So if y'all want to check me out on those two channels on YouTube, but I've also got a pretty substantial presence over there on Facebook, which is kind of like a old folks home now, but over on Facebook, I've got like 130,000 followers over there. But
my Facebook's been growing. What am I at now at Facebook? 85K followers on Facebook. That's crazy. I literally only post clips there. I don't do anything else. Speaking of the devil and their work, guys, you saw a little trailer for ROR, which is an event both John and myself will be speaking at coming up in a few weeks at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's about 2 hours from now. Mandisa will be here for a couple minutes to talk about ROR, to answer any questions you guys have, to tell us about Black non-believers. So just be prepared for that. And then yeah, that's gonna be fun. You can buy tickets. Mods are posting the link in the chat. You can buy virtual tickets. So if you want to watch John and myself give talks virtually, tickets on sale. Mods drop those links. We got people calling in, so the screeners are screening, then we'll...
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I think that you've got to either buy a special ticket, or you've got to actually be there to see me actually do some lip syncing to a song that I had made a while back. Yeah, calling out grifters.
I wish it was set up that I could do like an actual debate on, but it's so tough unless you have another person to debate, because then you're like, oh, I gotta sit and you gotta have a call like line set up and try to do that all live. That's no.
Oh, we're doing that at Rocket City Reason in October. We're having a live line show on that Saturday night.
Am I doing that, or am I just there to be like, hey guys, Jovan's walking around?
Well, no, I mean, I figure if you're going to be there, then, you're part of the line crew. And so we're going to have, people from the line crew like swap out. Yeah.
Sick. Where is fucking Rocket City Reason? Where is that happening?
Huntsville, Alabama. So you do, the
shit.
bad part is you got to come to Alabama. Yeah.
You got me going to Alabama? What the fuck? Okay, maybe okay. Maybe I gotta think about this a little bit. What am I gonna do in Alabama?
No, look, but it is Huntsville, and Huntsville's a lot more purple than like the rest of the state.
I don't know, man. What I'm finna do in I ain't leaving. I ain't fucking go walk around without like at least 6 white people surrounding me, making sure that I'm safe. In Alabama.
Hey, now listen, that actually happened in Georgia. Okay, the thing, what's that movie called?
Deliverance.
Deliverance. Yeah, that was Georgia.
Right? Isn't that Deliverance with the banjos?
Yeah, it is.
Squeal like a piggy, boy. That shit. I was young when I watched Deliverance. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Scarred me for the South for the rest of my life.
Yeah. But hey, at least Alabama's not Mississippi.
MISSISSIPPI. That's still how there are a few things. In order to spell Mississippi, I still in my head go MISSISSIPPI. For banana, I still go BANANAS.
Right.
To sometimes to tell my left from my right, I still do this. Like, I'm like, sometimes, you just gotta try to remember your pneumatic devices. Skip I don't know. Hey, we got a call. So let's bring up our first person. All right. Coming up to stream, we have Paul calling from Colorado to talk about the resurrection being real. Paul does believe there's evidence for it, so I can't wait to hear this. Paul, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
I'm 24, he, him.
Okay, great. Now, Paul, you're here to talk about the resurrection. You have evidence for the resurrection being real. We would love to hear it. Convince us that the resurrection happened.
Well, I just think it, and more primarily directed towards John here. I think one, if you start with, Jesus was a historical figure, whether you want to say it was Jesus Christ or Jesus of Nazareth, whatever, neither here nor there for me. I don't know, all the historical evidence points towards this story, whether you believe he resurrected or not, or he faked his resurrection, but historically something happened here. So it's just super ignorant to say, well, no, this is totally made up and it's mysticism and it's not real.
Well,
It's
what
not based on anything
historical
real.
evidence do you go ahead, John?
Well, I was just gonna say, mysticism is something different than mythicism. So just a small correction there.
Yeah. Still, I think my point remains, does it not?
Well, what historical evidence do you have for Jesus even existing in the first place?
Do you disagree with most modern scholars nowadays that he's a real person?
I think most modern scholars have very limited evidence, and the evidence that they do have is not super
there's
convincing.
A consensus among modern scholars. So if you can't be at least semi-honest, we know he was a real historical person.
Paul. So what you're doing right now is called an appeal to authority, and
Do you disagree?
I do disagree with the authorities on this, but for good reason. But the appeal to authority, like you using, hold on,
I hear what you're saying. Can I stop?
Paul, hold on.
Okay.
We let you talk a good bit.
Out the gate.
No, okay, talk.
Okay, so appeal to authority is where you're just saying, oh, the authorities say this, so therefore it's true. And that's how it's coming off right now, which is fallacious and
that is what I'm saying.
Exactly. That's a fallacy.
But
right.
So, it is a fallacy.
What I'm challenging though is the evidence that consensus is based on. So you can't just appeal to the consensus at this point.
I hear what you're saying.
For instance, just to give you a comparison here, I don't say, evolutionary biologists say evolution is true. Like that's not an argument I would use for evolution. I would say that the overwhelming evidence points.
No.
It is the consensus, but I would say that the evidence points towards evolution being a real thing, right? So I would appeal to the evidence, and that's what I want you to do right now.
But what is
it was Paul? Let me walk you through an analogy so that maybe we can understand this. It was the consensus for a long time that the Earth was flat. That didn't make it true. It was the consensus for a long time that the Earth that the sun revolved around the Earth. That was not true just because it was a consensus. So yes, the consensus from a lot of people is that Jesus was a real person. What we argue,
I'm not asking about people.
Paul,
I'm asking about
Paul. Hold on, just wait. There are also plenty of scholars. There are plenty of scholars who don't agree with Jesus being a real person. What we're saying is the evidence that the scholars point to is flimsy at best. So I'm asking you, what evidence do you believe supports the historical fact that Jesus was real?
I'm telling you, I agree with the consensus. The same way I don't know.
Brother, I'm not asking about the consensus. I'm asking about the evidence.
Can I talk?
No.
I let you guys talk. Can I talk?
We're trying to keep you on track here, Paul. You keep avoiding answering.
I have a point I'm trying to make, but you won't let me talk longer than 10 seconds.
Paul, you've made that point, which is
you
agree with the consensus.
Longer than 5 seconds, dude.
Paul, you've made the point.
Can I elaborate?
Holy shit, there's no way, dog.
I let you guys talk and I'm trying to make a point and you just cut me off.
Paul, is your point going to be that you agree with the consensus? Because we know this.
No, I was going to elaborate further, but you just cut me
Great.
off.
Okay.
Dude.
Okay, fine. Elaborate further. I won't cut you off anymore
Or
unless
you're-
you say something of no
Yeah,
substance.
because you're kind of just a dick, and you just cut me off. And you already said that. You cut me off 5 seconds in, dude.
Paul, I'm trying to keep the show running. So as long
Yeah,
as you say something of substance, I will not cut you
Keep
off.
your show running.
As long as
That's
you say
great.
something of substance, I will not cut you off. Go ahead.
So the point I'm making is that you guys agree with me that the consensus among scholars is that Jesus was a real person. Whether the evidence, whatever, I'm laying out a foundation for my argument, is that the consensus is that he's a real person. And then I'm going to elaborate and say the same way that I don't know all the facts and the science that makes evolution real. But I do believe in evolution because the leading scientists have good evidence. They're smart people. They went to Harvard and Oxford, and they're smarter than you, and they're smarter than me.
Oxford.
And they all agree that he was a real person, just like they all agree that evolution was real. So who am I to say, oh, well, the evidence points that he's not real? Who are you to say to disagree with scholars about this?
Okay, so really quick, John, I just want to mention, you just spoke I gave you uninterrupted time, hoping you would say something new, and you just repeated what you had said without any real.
To that point,
there is nothing to debunk because you won't present the evidence.
I can't
debunk,
evidence.
Paul. I don't know why when I let you. I don't know why when I let you speak.
Evidence.
Do you notice that, like, when I let you speak, but when I speak, you go, well, now it's my turn to talk. Do you want to replay the tape? Right? Do you want to replay the tape where I gave you? Do you want me to stop? I'll replay the tape where I just gave you uninterrupted time to speak. Where I gave you uninterrupted time to speak.
You kept cutting me off.
Did I or did I not just give you uninterrupted time to speak?
Yes or no?
Did you
not cut me off first?
Did I or did I not?
Cut me off first?
Okay, so we're gonna have to mute you, Paul, if you don't stop. If you don't stop, you will have to be muted. This isn't your show. This isn't the Paul show. If you want a Paul show, go start your own YouTube channel. Okay?
Can you handle people calling in?
Okay, you are now muted. As I said, if you don't stop, I'm gonna have to mute you. I gave you a warning, and now you're in timeout like a child because you're acting like a child. There is nothing to disagree with here because you're not presenting an argument. You're presenting a fallacy. These people agree, and they're smarter than me, therefore they are right. What me and John are contesting is the evidence that they claim points to Jesus's existence is flimsy at best. And none of it is contemporary, which is what I would seek in proving the existence of a historical person. So unless you want to come back with evidence that we can talk about, you going, all these people are smarter than me and I agree with them, is a nothing burger. And the fact that you're constantly trying to overtalk proves to me you don't have a real argument because you don't want to let us get a word in edgewise. Anything you want to say while he's muted, John?
Yeah, so I don't think an argument from personal incredulity here is really going to sway anybody on anything, but also the vast majority, like I'd say 95% of the scholars that he's mentioning here also believe that a wizardy Jew resurrected from the dead as well. So I think that it warrants like questioning their ability to do basic history when they think that a Jewish wizard resurrected from the dead. Like I feel like that should cause like a red flag for anybody in this particular discussion. So go ahead, Paul. Maybe name what's the best piece of evidence when you come off mute. Name the best piece of evidence you can think of that proves Jesus existed outside of the appeals to authority and personal incredulity.
Now, I'm going to unmute you, Paul. You're on a very short leash because you've proven that you can't handle a back and forth conversation in good faith. So you're on a short leash. Just know you will be muted again if you break that leash. So you're going to hear a beep. That beep is you being unmuted. You can answer John's question now.
Appreciate that. I don't fully understand why you're acting like this, but okay, sure. I'm very curious because what I'm trying to do again here, real fast. And it doesn't seem like you guys are picking up on it. It seems like John might be a little bit. I'm trying to point out the hypocrisy in your argument. what is your guys's? I'm very curious. What is your guys's evidence? One, that the argument scholars making is flimsy, because you guys haven't presented any argument
I did
or
actually.
any evidence. There's been no evidence presented on your guys'
Actually,
end.
I did.
Can I keep talking and
No,
not be
because you
cut
made
off?
it. You mischaracterized what I said, and you ignored something I said. So no.
I'm not
If
ignoring
you
anything you said. It's just
you
the
did
reality that you
you
guys
did
haven't
because
presented any
you
evidence.
made the claim that I didn't present evidence
I'm
and I
trying to
didn't
get to
face
my
an
next
argument.
point before I lose my train of thought.
No, you're gonna have to lose it. If you mention something, I'm going to address it. So you mentioned
So
something,
you
so I'm
can
going to
cut me
address
off,
it.
but I can't
Because
cut
you
you off.
mentioned something that was incorrect about a statement I made, so I'm
Seems
going
like
to
you're a little bit of a hip.
muted. I hate to break it to you. This is how the show works. I already said the evidence is flimsy because in order to prove a historical figure, I would expect some piece of contemporary evidence. Contemporary evidence is a written account by a person who knew said historical figure and was alive at the time said historical figure is alive. We have no firsthand contemporary evidence for Jesus. Not a single piece of writing by anyone who knew him personally, and not a single piece of writing written in the time he was alive. This completely, in my opinion, delegitimizes the claim that he exists. The closest we have is Tacitus and Josephus as historians writing about Jesus' existence, but even that is flimsy because they write about 1 paragraph to 2 paragraphs between the two of them. Anything you want to add to
Well,
that, John?
yeah, so actually the Tacitus reference is actually to a Crestus. It was actually changed sometime to actually name Christus. But even if we take it at face
Mm.
value, we've got Robert Van Voorst, who's a New Testament scholar, who establishes that we can't actually identify the source of that information, so we can't actually determine if it's independent from the Gospels. He was also talking to Pliny the Younger, who was in the next province over, and he was busy interrogating the Christians. So he could have gotten it from there or wherever, but ultimately it seems like a regurgitation of what's already in the Gospels. And then I'm in the camp that Josephus is both references in there are actually total fabrications. One is a malicious fabrication, the other one's an accidental interpolation. So I don't even think that those are good pieces of evidence. I think the strongest piece of evidence that anybody can have is actually Paul, and we could discuss why that actually crumbles under close scrutiny. But I don't want to overwhelm Paul there. I'm really wanting to get back to this whole meta whining thing that he seems to be on about.
Yeah, we're going to unmute you now, Paul, to hopefully now acknowledge that you were incorrect about our claim. You'll hear a beep. That beep is you being unmuted.
Okay. I mean, still, what I was saying is that you guys have not presented any evidence, which is still true, but that's fine. The thing I would like to move on to now, because you brought up something very interesting, actually. So you believe,
Hello?
and I'm not trying to be rude. Your name's Jovan, is that correct?
My name is Big Daddy Papi Chulo.
Big Daddy Papi Chulo. So what you're saying is that because we don't have any firsthand accounts of Jesus, it makes you doubt his authentic,
No,
that he was written.
well, so I mean, firsthand eyewitness accounts are kind of our primary evidence for most of things that happen in history outside of like archaeological evidence. But I mean, the very first person to ever talk about Jesus literally separates himself out from any kind of historical sourcing. We've got Paul in Galatians 1:11 that says that he did not get his gospel from any human person on earth. He only got it through revelation, which would be hallucination, and by reading the scriptures. So considering that and the fact that his gospel seems to match the same gospel as the Peter and the other initial apostles were preaching, it seems like this Jesus character was actually created out of the Old Testament scriptures as well as hallucinatory stuff that was going
I
on.
just asked if like not having a firsthand account, and I directed it at Jovan, just by the way, or Big Daddy Papi Chulo, sorry. Just because and we could rewind the tape, he brought up that, and I know why you jumped in, John. You seem like you're actually better educated on the subject. But earlier he did say that not having a firsthand written account is it hurts Jesus's authenticity, that he's not a real person, because we have no firsthand accounts.
I'll say it again, and I'll say it very slowly, so maybe you understand it this time. The best evidence for a person
You don't want your
having
boyfriend to
existed
jump in and bail you out again?
Okay, do we have to mute you again, Paul? Are you too?
You,
do you lack the
seem to
house
need
training?
to, because you
Okay,
can't
here we
control.
go. Muted. It's interesting that you don't have house training, so you're muted again. I would have continued the conversation with you normally, but you're a little whiny bitch. So now you have to sit on mute because you're a little whiny baby man. So now, in between talking, you will just be muted because you've shown that your impulse control is lacking. Now, as I repeated, and what I will say again, because everybody else who's listening has open ears and understands what I'm saying, the plausibility of a person existing goes up dramatically when we have contemporary evidence for said person, especially if that person is an important figure in history. So Jesus Christ existing, what increases his plausibility would be if people who were alive at the time that he was alive and or who met him had written down about him. This is evidence we have for Julius Caesar. We have evidence like this for Genghis Khan. We have evidence like this for Attila the Hun. We have evidence like this for Cleopatra. We have evidence like this for Alexander the Great. We have evidence like this for most major historical figures who are very important in different societies. We have none of this for Jesus. Nobody wrote about him while he was alive. No major historical figure wrote about him until Paul did 20 years post his death, after he had a vision in the desert, most likely brought upon by a near-death experience and guilt. Now you are just going to fall back again and not provide any of this evidence. There's no archaeological evidence of Jesus Christ existing. There's no Roman records of Jesus Christ existing. There's nobody in Rome who wrote about a man named Jesus Christ. Like we said, the closest you're getting is Tacitus and Josephus, and maybe Pliny the Younger. If we're just talking about like writing about Pilate crucifying him, but Pilate didn't write that he crucified Jesus. Hell, we didn't even know Pilate was real until we actually uncovered some evidence that Pilate actually existed.
The Pilate
So
sound,
again, yeah. So again, what's showing it to me here is that you have no actual argument, and your way of arguing is to just insult me as the host. So you're going to be on an even shorter leash now because you've proven you can't handle a big boy conversation. So put on your diaper now, and I want to hear your response to the fact that there is no contemporary evidence for Jesus Christ existing. You'll hear a beep. That's you being unmuted. You're on a very short leash, though, remember.
What does I'm on a short leash mean?
It means if you say something I don't like, I'm going to mute you again.
Dude.
Yep, well, there, I muted you again. You already broke the leash. That's crazy. Broke it so fast. A pit bull is more restrained than you are. A fucking Great Dane who just saw a little small cat run across his yard is more restrained than you are. You apparently, Paul, have no restraint. And that's embarrassing. The only thing I want to hear from you is addressing the argument being made. If you say anything that is not addressing the argument, you get put back on mute. It's just the case. Literally any word out of your mouth that is not an addressment of the argument, instant mute. That's your rules. That's the leash you're on. So again, I would like you to address the point that we have no contemporary evidence for Jesus, not written, not archaeological, not accounts, none of it for Jesus Christ existing. You're unmuted.
Well,
you're on that short leash.
Thank you for explaining the short leash thing, because I didn't understand what you were saying. Well, what I'll say is I didn't say contemporary evidence, and once again, you've shifted the goalpost, you've moved the goalpost, and I can rewind the tape. I can make an edit of this conversation and rewind it to where you said there's no firsthand accounts of Jesus Christ.
That's
you
contemporary.
Said that. You can't.
That's what contemporary means. That's what contemporary means, douchebag.
Oh,
dumbass.
And so,
stupid idiot.
So you've
stupid
already
dumb
called
idiot
me
fuck.
out.
Yeah, no, stupid. You're muted again. There's no goalpost shift because that's what fucking contemporary means, you idiot. There's no way. He's like, well, now you're saying contemporary, but originally you said firsthand accounts. What do you think contemporary means, you dumb idiot? Holy shit. John, do you see what I have to deal with over here?
Yeah. I mean, it's like dictionaries don't even exist right now. It's
That
crazy.
us. Here, let's Google what is contemporary evidence. Let's what the fuck? No, Google, I don't want to learn complex concepts with AI mode. What? Jesus Christ. So let's look up what contemporary evidence means. Contemporary evidence refers to documents, records, or physical items created at the exact time an event occurred. So firsthand accounts of Jesus would be contemporary evidence because these are people who met him, who are writing down about a thing that they experienced at the time they experienced it. Contemporary.
Yeah, so Paul, what we're saying here is that there was nobody that actually knew Jesus prior to his supposed resurrection. That it was only after his resurrection that that he was revealed to people. When you come off mute, do you have evidence that anybody knew or saw Jesus prior to his death on the cross?
We'll unmute him now. Remember, short leash.
I understand what you're saying, John, and no, I do not. But what I'm trying to do, but you guys keep interrupting me, is what I'm trying to say is we do have contemporary evidence for all U.S. presidents, but we don't have firsthand accounts. So the argument you guys are making, Google
George,
it.
we've got
Google it.
Google
it.
Yeah, we've got letters directly from like George Washington. We got letters directly from like
I said
every
not
single
all
president. All presidents? What does that even mean? Why are you hyper specifically saying all presidents, like as if we don't have a letter or some kind of writing from one president, then that nulls the entire thing?
John.
We literally have contemporary evidence for every single president that has ever been in this country.
Sorry, U.S. figures. Sorry, not presidents. U.S.
What U.S. figure do we not
what
have
I'm
contemporary
doing
evidence
is
for?
I'm drawing a comparison because your argument is
what U.S.
is
figure
not
do we
good.
not have contemporary evidence for?
Was janitor at a 7-Eleven, that one.
Who, Paul Bunyan? Because we wouldn't say Paul Bunyan was real. John Henry?
So you
Like,
think every U.S. historical figure we have firsthand accounts of?
No, you
That's
made this
your
argument.
official stance,
No.
Jovan?
You made this argument. Don't try to shift the burden.
No,
You have
I'm
stated
saying we don't.
You have
we do not have firsthand accounts of all
Which-
U.S. figures.
Hold on. Which U.S. figure do John and I believe existed that we don't have firsthand accounts for?
Will you give me 5 minutes? You want to mute me and I'll find one?
5 minutes? You need
Because
5
I'll find
fucking
one
minutes?
because they exist.
Holy shit, dude! There's no way. This is
You're
hilarious.
saying one doesn't
Why
exist,
is it?
and I'm saying if you give me time, I'll find one.
Paul. You like, I know that you've asked us for the evidence, and we've given you good reason that you should be like questioning things. And if you want me to make the minimal mythicist argument, I can, but it's not really going to get us anywhere because I feel like you're too concussed right now to actually.
Can I say something, John? What if I told you I wasn't even a Christian? What if I told you your arguments are just weak?
I don't care.
You just have weak arguments that don't make sense.
What argument? You haven't asked me for a fucking argument.
John,
You've asked me for evidence. You haven't asked me for a fucking argument yet.
Jesus was a historical person. The
Right.
evidence
Do you want to hear my argument for that, or do you want to just keep crying?
And if you're saying
Can
that
you steel man our argument,
that he
Paul?
wasn't real, isn't weak, you're a liar.
Paul, can you steel man? Can you steel man our evidence?
liar.
Can you steel man it for us? Go ahead.
Can you steal mine and I'll
steel man our argument.
If you do mine, I'll do yours.
Why would you go first?
Why would you go first?
Because I asked you first.
You see how everything you do is kind of hypocritical?
I asked you first, dumbass.
So what? So why just because you
All right,
asked
goodbye,
first,
Paul.
I have to go first?
See ya.
Oh,
brother.
How can he say that my argument is weak when he didn't even ask me for my argument? Like, he asked us for evidence. He didn't ask us for an argument to be made. Like, I could make the argument, but it's going to be a pretty strong argument, at least in my surmise. Plus, I've been running statistical analysis on my argument, and it holds up.
Well, yeah, but also our argument is that his evidence is weak. Like, that's the
Right.
argument. We're not making a historical claim. He would be that Jesus exists, and our
Right.
argument is that the evidence for this is not compelling. It is weak evidence. Holy shit. Wow. That was fucking. He said you shifted the goalpost. You said it was contemporary, but then you said it needed to be firsthand. That's
Here's
goddamn.
here's the thing that I don't understand about like when he crashed out there, he was like, "What if I told you I'm not even Christian?" That I and like as if that would be some kind of gotcha. But also, wasn't he wanting to make an argument that the resurrection happened? Like, I thought that was like the back end of it.
We couldn't even get that far.
I know
Really couldn't prove Jesus was even real.
So sad.
Holy shit. Man, I talking to religious nut jobs is fucking always the best. All right, let's move on to the next person. All right, coming up next is Matt. Matt is calling from Georgia to tell us that God is real. So he apparently has some solid evidence. Matt, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
29, and I don't really care about pronouns.
Okay, well, you definitely have pronouns. So what are they?
Me?
That would be a first person pronoun. What is your third person
I'm
pronoun?
just messing with you. I'm just messing. I'm a dude. So you can say he, him.
There we go. Now,
Okay.
we do not believe God is real. It's up to you to try to convince us with some type of evidence. I'll let John primarily handle this one because I talked a lot during the last one. So if you want to prove to us God is real, go ahead, try it.
Okay. I'd be able to prove anything to you guys. I just kind of wanted to talk to you, like, why I think he is, I guess. But, like, what else? The person, like, the verifier was saying intelligent design. My belief, it was how everything here on Earth is, absolutely perfect for us to even be here. I wouldn't think that, over the years it just all happens to just so happen to perfectly line up for, everything for us to even be here.
Well, so that's
that's
kind of
what I
leading
would
into
believe.
what's called, well, Matt, so that's kind of leading into what's called the weak anthropic principle there. I mean, like, life is shaped by the environment that we exist within. So you can't sit there at the end of the process and be like, oh, it's so amazing that I'm here. Have you ever heard of the puddle analogy?
No, I haven't heard that, or you said anthropic.
Yeah, it's a weak anthropic principle. Um,
Oh, okay.
So yeah, well, so the puddle analogy, it was made by Douglas Adams, and he said it's like, there's a hole that's filled with water, and the anthropomorphized water in the hole is like, oh, look, this hole is made perfectly for my shape, totally disregarding the fact that the water is going to conform to the shape of the container that it's in, right? And so this anthropomorphized water is like, oh, it's made perfectly for me, I fit perfectly in this hole. And it's the exact same thing there, right? Like, life is it develops and is shaped by the environment that it exists within. And I don't think that any kind of appeal to personal incredulity on this point is really going to rescue you, because just because you don't understand it, just because it's too complex of a situation for you to really contemplate, that doesn't mean that it wasn't natural. Can you point to at any point in our history where a supernatural explanation has overtaken a natural explanation?
I guess not. But, like, the whole puddle
Right.
thing, though, like, does the hole conform to the water, or does water conform to the hole?
The water conforms to the hole. Do you know how water works?
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking. So, like,
Right.
Did you
And the
say
water,
the whole
in
is
my
life?
analogy, in the analogy, water is life. The whole is the environment that it's in. Right. Sorry, I didn't know I had to like fully drill down on this analogy. I thought that it was pretty, pretty self-explanatory. So the life is the water. The life it is molded by the environment that it exists within. So like as far as how much do you know about evolutionary
Oh, the whole.
biology or evolution?
Like how we went from like organisms to like a fish, and then the fish started walking, and then it became a primate and all that, and so on.
Did I just have a stroke? I mean,
I don't know. Did you?
well, no, I mean because that's like by far the worst explanation for evolution that I've heard. So for one thing, we're all organisms. Organisms are, it's just life, right? And so we didn't change from an organism into something else. We're still organisms, but it was definitely not a fish then grew legs, walked on land, and then grew, into a human. I mean, evolution is a lot. It is a lot more like it's like a gradient. It's like slow changes over time that the environment shapes life. The organisms that are best fit to survive in whatever environment they're in, they're going to survive and thrive and propagate. Throughout the ages, and so that's how life
Right.
changes. I mean, that's
Right.
Sorry, I was just trying to get a bead on like how well you understood evolution, and it seems like you don't know what evolution is, like how it operates at all. I feel like you've probably just watched a whole bunch of Frank Turek and J. Warner Wallace videos, and then you decided to call in.
No, I don't know who those people are. I was just kind of giving
Sure.
my understanding of it. Like that's what I thought. Like the world was all water or whatever, and it was like, sorry, not organisms. Whatever, like microbes, whatever it was. It all started from like one little tiny whatever, and it just slowly became to what we are today.
Right.
But it wasn't. But
Slow
it wasn't.
changes.
It wasn't slow though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was. Let me repeat that. It was slow. It was
It was
very
slow.
slow.
I know what you
It was
mean.
like
I
billions.
know what
Yeah,
you mean.
that's what I mean mostly. Like life did. Like we're looking at an end of the process. Like, of course, when we look at the end of the process, it's going to look like everything was perfectly made for us. But that's because we adapted to the environment we live in. If intelligent
Yeah, I can
design
see that.
existed, we should be able to survive in space.
Yeah, it always kind of
I guess.
confounds me, but whenever somebody brings up intelligent design, because it's like like the fine tuning of the universe and everything like that actually makes really sense on naturalism. Like having a universe to need to be fine tuned is actually something that you would expect out of a natural universe. What we don't expect out of a supernatural universe where a creator is the need for fine tuning. So, I mean, I feel like you're a little bit backwards there on your logic, because if a creator really was, doing the thing and pulling all the strings here, then he doesn't need to be constrained by fine tuning, right? I mean, he can just create a universe with
No,
whatever kind of properties, and it should just operate.
no, I get what you're saying. Like, would it be fine tuning or just be his handiwork? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean,
it
if you're
just
going
so
to go
happens
from
like he
the
made it
if you're going to
perfectly
go from
for
the
us.
weekend. Right, but if you're going to apply the weekanthropic principle like you're applying here, then it would look the exact same, I guess. Like
Oh, what's the
but
weekend thing?
it's the thing that we've been discussing the entire time. It's where you're at the end of the process and you look back at the steps to get to where
Oh,
you were, and you're like, "Oh, everything perfectly landed into place just for me because I'm that kind of narcissist."
okay. Yeah, like I said, I just think it's all too perfect. Like say, if
No,
the
what
sun
does
was just a
too
little bit
perfect
closer,
mean?
or if we were
What does
like
too perfect mean?
for everything to be like ones and billions of chances. I don't think
Is it as long as that
nothing
number is not
and
zero, as long as that number's not zero, then it's 100% going to happen.
well, right, of course, with
So
you
it's not
know,
really all that
in every
amazing.
billionth dimension and all that, I guess. Yeah, sure.
What?
But,
Holy
nothing.
Dunning
But,
Kruger.
right, but okay, but like I was saying, that's just my belief. Like I said, I just think how everything is just so perfect for us to be here
But it's
on,
I don't know
not
what that
though.
means.
But wait, even if we're like going from that, it's not. Like when it comes to the planet, most of this planet
It's
is
not.
water and we can't live in it. To be
I know that's
fair,
what I'm
the
saying.
planet is like
It's
perfectly
not.
designed for fish.
Well, right.
Yeah,
And we're here.
and not only that, but in our orbit around the sun, we actually deviate about a million and a half miles. So I mean, our orbit around the sun's not perfect. Let's see what else. The moon in the sky. I mean, we just so happen to live at a point in time where full eclipses are that we can actually see them. But at some point in the future, we're not going to be able to see full eclipses anymore. And but I mean that. So none of this is like perfect. Like I don't know what perfect means in this situation. You would have to define
Well,
what perfect is, and then you'd
perfect
have to
enough for us to have life.
perfect enough to have what? No, I mean, I don't know what that means. Like I don't know what perfect is in this situation and how you would know that it's perfect. Because as far as life goes, like Jovan just mentioned, on the earth, like the earth is not made for life. Life can exist on the earth, but it's definitely not like made for like life in that kind of way that you're thinking. So what I'm
Do
getting
what?
out of this call there, Matt. Yeah, we're here. What I'm getting out of this call is that life and the likelihood of life is just way too complicated and complex for you to really understand and grasp. And so because you can't grasp it, therefore you believe that a magical wizard spoke an incantation to create everything. Would that be an accurate steel man of what you think?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Why do you believe in wizards?
I think wizards are cool.
I mean, sure, the fantasy version of a wizard is cool, but when I say wizard, I mean that God is indistinguishable from a magician. And so I don't know why you would believe in like a magician that can like actually do magic. Like that seems silly.
I would say he's like a magician or anything like that, but like
Can you
so you guys believe
distinguish
in like
between
Big Bang
God
and
and
all
a
that?
well no, can you distinguish between God and a wizard? In this respect? Like, like, can you actually tell me how God is different than a wizard, other than he's just God?
No, I guess not.
Okay, so the Jewish wizard is your
Space wizard.
pick for how everything. The space wizard, yep, space wizard
I
is your
wouldn't
pick.
say
Do you think
I wouldn't
that's
say Jewish, but
oh
Well, Jesus was definitely Jewish, right?
no.
No,
Jesus
Jesus
wasn't
was not
Jewish?
Jewish.
He lived by like the Mosaic law, but I wouldn't say that he was Jewish.
Was his mother
I mean the
Jewish?
I mean, if you're going off of like the Rothschild and Schofield text, of course you would believe everything's Jewish and it's all perfect because of the Jews and shit. But I wouldn't say he
what?
was Jewish.
Did Jesus celebrate Passover?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. In
Okay,
the New Testament, do they call him a rabbi?
no.
Yes, they do.
What part?
Oh, here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up the exact verse.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I just heard my
And
wife
turning
laugh downstairs out loud.
this is Gospel of John 138. And turning around, Jesus saw them following and said to them, "What are you seeking?" They said to him, "Rabbi, where are you staying?" They literally called him
And
a rabbi.
what version are you reading off of?
Any, we can do any. Rabbi is a Hebrew word, so like it didn't need to be translated.
Well, you can go off what version are you reading off of Schofield? Like, of course, everything's gonna be fucking Jewish in that.
Well, huh? The New
What do you mean
Testament
by
was written in
Scofield?
Greek, translated from, and then we trained, but they had certain words that like were traditional Hebrew words that they still used, like rabbi.
Right. No, I just think like the Schofield reference was published by the Rothschilds to, push forth their Zionist efforts and whatnot, and then in the end use Christians as a tool to, like how people, I'm a Christian Zionist and Judeo-Christian values. That's no such thing as a Judeo-Christian
I feel like
value.
this is going into an anti-Semitic rant.
Hardcore.
Is where this is going.
Oh my God.
Hardcore.
Everything's anti-Semitic. Oh my God. No, it's not
you're being
anti-Semitic. There's no such thing as
anti-Semitic. Like, I don't know what the
Judeo-Christian.
fuck.
Judaism goes directly against the life of Jesus. So there's no such thing as
Okay,
Judeo-Christian.
no, hold on, Matt. Just so that you know here, okay, I've got like a parallel thing of Matthew 23:8. That's the rabbi part, is another rabbi
Right, but
part,
sorry, go ahead.
Rabbi is all the way throughout. Which verse did you pull up there, Jovan?
I specifically used John 1:30, Gospel of John 1:38. But he's called
Okay.
rabbi again in John 3:2, Matthew 26:25.
Yeah, let's see.
Could rabbi also be translated as a teacher?
That's what it means. That's
Okay.
that's just what that word means. It means teacher. When you have a rabbi in synagogue, the word just means teacher.
But was
rabbi,
he a rabbi of a synagogue?
Right. So I'm going down the list here of the translations. Rabbi, 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 rabbi. I don't know. Every single translation says rabbi. So yes, it's
So
every
just
single
because they
translation.
call him rabbi, that makes him Jewish?
So this is something that people do in debates. And I don't know if you are doing it purposely, probably not. But I gave you multiple reasons why Jesus would be Jewish, and you're stuck on this one reason. And you're going, well, this would be the reason?
Oh, because,
no, I gave you a list of things.
Because he celebrated Passover.
He celebrated traditional Jewish holidays. He was born into a Jewish family.
What other did
he was raised in Jewish culture. He was circumcised according to Jewish law. He attended synagogue. I don't know in what sense he would not be Jewish.
He attended synagogue?
Yes.
Oh. When was that?
You want me to pull up the verse?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be cool.
Why is it that atheists have to do basic, like, biblical, like a basic Bible study with a supposed Christian? Like, why is it the atheist job to do this?
I don't know. Gospel of Luke 4:16, and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as was his custom, he entered the synagogue on the Sabbath.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So Jesus was Jewish.
I wouldn't say he's Jewish.
Brother.
Oh my fucking Christ!
Also, you believe in Christ.
No, what is it? No, hold on. What does it mean to be Jewish to you? Like, I'm wondering, what does it fucking mean to be Jewish to you?
Does he practice like the laws of Moses, or does he practice Judaism?
Yes.
He practiced the laws of Moses.
Matthew 5:17 to 19. It says that, I've come not to fulfill, or I've not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill the law. And he then goes on to say that you should teach the law, and if you teach the law, like to not follow the law, then you're treated least in heaven. If you follow all of the law, then you are treated the best in heaven. And so, he definitely says that, and there's a comparable verse in Luke as well. So just in case you needed like more.
Well, no, I get what you're saying.
I don't think that's gonna matter.
But like, as far as like Judaism, what it is today and everything, like I wouldn't say just because he practiced the laws of Moses that makes him completely Jewish.
Okay,
That'd be,
I asked
you know,
you what
Mosaic law.
makes what does it mean to be Jewish to you? Like that's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm trying to pull teeth for right now.
Oh, my fault, my fault. Let me think. I'm not sure, honestly.
Well, then how can you say that
Brother.
anybody isn't Jewish? Like, if you have no fucking idea what you're talking about here, how can you say he's not Jewish? Like, this is fucking silly shit there, Matt.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just fucking with you guys, man. I really don't care about the whole thing. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit and have a little Bible
Oh,
study with
okay,
you
so
guys.
you're a
with some atheists.
liar then. I mean, you were a liar calling
I
in?
wouldn't say I'm a liar. I wouldn't say I'm a liar.
You just
Okay.
said
But
you
did
were
you
a
guys
liar.
not have Bible study? Did you guys not have Bible study?
We didn't need to study. We read the book.
Well, yeah. So, but we just had some Bible study. I had Bible study with atheists, so I think that's a win for me.
Oh,
You
well,
had
so
an. I wouldn't say you had Bible study. I'd say 2 atheists educated you on what your own book says.
Oh, no, I know what it says. I just, like I said, you guys read it with me.
I don't
We had
think you
Bible
know what
study.
it
You guys can
says.
study it yourself.
I don't think you know what your book
Okay.
says.
Sure, but
are you a Christian?
I wouldn't say. I mean, you guys can say I'm a Christian and whatnot. I'd prefer like follower of Christ, but Christian, whatever. You know, I wouldn't hold like any sort of, what's it called?
I mean, that's
You know, they have
the whole
like
relationship. I got a
Lutheranism and all
relationship
that.
with Jesus, not yeah. The whole relationship with Jesus thing is just a way for you to cop out of having to, adhere to dogma. You don't have a relationship with Jesus. Jesus isn't real. You have you have a fantastical idea that you've cooked up in your head that is a basically a buffet style version of the faith that you've chosen yourself. So you've essentially concocted
Would you
your
say
own
that?
denomination, huh?
Oh, that's what I was looking for. Denomination. Yeah, I wouldn't choose any sort of denomination, but
Right,
sure.
you've
I mean,
created your
you
own
can believe what you want to
denomination.
believe, of course.
You've created your own version of Christianity that already works with your own anti-Semitic moral sort of stance.
Oh
And
my
so
God,
like
shut up.
okay.
I don't give a fuck about if anyone's Jewish. Like that's, you're so quick to call someone anti-Semitic because they
Then why
question
did you make
anything that
such
has
a
to do
big
with it.
deal about what version of the Bible we were reading because it might be Jewish in
Well,
some kind of way?
it's not that the Jewish. It's because the Schofield text, what was published by the Rothschilds, like a lot of it
Yeah.
was. I mean, a lot of
It's
it's more of his footnotes than the actual Bible.
You know what it
And a lot
sounds
of it
like?
too was
Do you know what it sounds
translated.
like? Do you know what it sounds like has happened here? He called in thinking he was going to do a really easy win against some atheists. Then he learned that the atheists were more educated on this topic than he was. And now he's trying to save face by going, well, I was just sort of fucking around. I wasn't, I just came here to Bible study. No, you didn't. You came here to argue a point and you realized that we know more
my
than you
fault.
on the
Yeah.
point.
Oh, of course, of course. No, I didn't really think I was gonna win you guys over. I know you guys are cemented in what you believe, and that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Well, I mean, me and
No,
John
no.
have actual arguments for why we believe. You just believe what you believe because
That's
you're
cool.
easily brainwashed.
I mean,
Yep.
if you want to believe that, that's fine.
It's not what I want to believe. It's the clear evidence based upon a 20-minute conversation with you.
Oh, okay.
You,
Well,
you
sure, then
literally
yeah,
said
I'm brainwashed.
when I steel manned your argument, you basically admitted that you're just personally incredulous to how the universe and everything like that could have come about naturally. So therefore, you believe in the magical wizard. And I mean, I just don't understand why you are now complaining that we correctly yet again described your position, and you seem
Oh
to
no,
be
I'm not
offended.
complaining.
I feel like
No,
this is
I'm
one
okay
of
with
those
you guys
times where
doing
it's
that.
like
No,
you offended your own self because that's kind of what you did.
no, I wouldn't say I'm offended. No, you guys are totally fine. Like it doesn't bother me none.
All right. Well, you bore
Like I
me,
said,
so I'm
if
going to
you,
move on. Bye. It's so
I don't know.
disingenuous, man.
Why would you call in if you don't give a shit about the conversation, like at all? Like I want to argue that God is real for intelligent design, and then he's like, I don't really care. Okay, fine, fuck off then. Don't call these shows.
No, literally, like you would save so much time by just not calling. Anyway, I got to use the bathroom. John is going to be in charge for a couple minutes while I go pitter potter in the potty.
Oh, okay. You want me to hold off on bringing somebody up, I guess?
Here, let me bring up let me actually do that. I'll bring up the next caller and then I'll go to the bathroom. Coming up next is Sam. Sam is calling from Georgia to talk about Jesus being the Messiah. Sam, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hello. My pronouns, I'm gender fluid and I'm in my 30s.
Oh, Sam. It's this Sam. Got it, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sam is a regular caller on the line. Sam be going at it with Jimmy on spirituality. Sam, you're calling to talk about Jesus being the Messiah. You're gonna talk to John because I'm gonna go pee.
Okay. Hi, John.
Hey there, Sam. So, you think Jesus was the Messiah? What reason do you have for that?
Yeah. So like the same way how y'all went straight to dictionaries for looking up contemporary, and what was the
Okay.
other word you had looked up? Rabbi. Yeah. Like we could go to the dictionary on this, and there's no definition where Jesus doesn't fit that definition.
Well, no, typically like Jesus was the Messiah, meaning that he fulfilled some kind of like I know that later people claim that he is the Messiah, but like saying that Jesus our contention about Jesus being the Messiah, or at least my contention, I'm not going to speak for Jovan, but my contention is that he doesn't actually fulfill any of like the prophecies that were supposedly about him. That he doesn't actually fulfill any real prophecies.
Oh, that's only if you want to go further, like deeper into like a Christian interpretation of it. But like if you just go to like Google, Webster, or Britannica and just look up definitions, like there's no way how you could successfully debate that Jesus is not the Messiah.
Okay, give me the definition then.
Oh, okay. So when I first went to Google and it gave me the AI one, it told me the anointed one who will bring in a new age. And when I went to Britannica, it said the expected king to deliver Israel.
Okay. Jesus hasn't done any
So
of
like,
that. So, I mean, he's not the Messiah.
what do you mean? Like we had 2,000
He hasn't
years of
he hasn't done
Christianity.
any of that. Right, but he hasn't done any of that. He hasn't done anything that was that the Messiah was supposed to do.
Well, I mean, brought this new age of Christianity to where it's like any other religion could have been the major one. It could have been Brahma could have been the main spiritual, thing talked about.
Well, so the reason why Christianity is so prevalent in the West, especially now, is because of the Roman Empire. They adopted Christianity, they spread it, they made it the religion, the official religion, right? They adopted it. So that's why it gained so much traction. That's why it became so popular, is because the Roman Empire spread it. Now it was but I mean, it's essentially based on just a mere belief in a figure that supposedly did some of these things. But the actual prophecies that are contained in the Old Testament about what the Messiah was supposed to do, who the Messiah was supposed to be, what he was supposed to accomplish, none of those things were fulfilled in Jesus. So Jesus is not the Messiah, which Jovan's back now. So Sam here is saying that the dictionary says that Jesus is the Messiah, so therefore he is the Messiah.
Oh, I heard him. Yeah, I would just say in order to be the Messiah, you have to fulfill messianic prophecies. It's kind of the central key to being the Messiah, and he doesn't do any of those.
So we're on the same page there. So he definitely did not fulfill any of those. So he's not the Messiah. Can you drop the wizard now? Like, are you no longer a Christian?
I will have to come back later to go ahead and debate on Jesus fulfilling messianic prophecy. But as for it fitting the dictionary definition, I don't know. I will just say that fits perfectly.
Yeah, because Christians wrote the dictionaries, so they reworded the word Messiah so that the way Jesus would fit into that, but he doesn't.
We own all the dictionaries?
Well,
What?
no. So like we can use dictionaries in order to clarify what we mean by something, but if you're using the dictionary in order to prove a point, like that Jesus was the Messiah, that would have to be a classical like dictionary fallacy. Dictionaries are descriptive, not prescriptive, right? So just because the dictionary calls him a Messiah, or that Jesus, what you understand of Jesus fits the Messiah definition, that doesn't automatically make Jesus a Messiah, or the Messiah rather of Judaism. So that's just some fallacious thought that you got going on there.
You chose to use the word, and even if Christians wrote all the dictionaries, you chose to use the word from the Christian dictionary and then
No, I
complain
use the
saying,
word. No. I use the word as interpreted by the Bible, not by the dictionary. The Bible clearly lays out what the Messiah is associated with. These would be things like the restoration of Israel, which hasn't happened, peace and deliverance, which hasn't happened, justice, which hasn't happened. All these things that the Bible says the Messiah will do, the anointed one, the king will do. Jesus hasn't done them. So it doesn't matter to me what the dictionary says. I'm going off of what the Bible says.
all right, well, I'll go do some Bible reading and try to call back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jovan.
No problem.
No, thanks, Sam.
I was down for someone who just gets some information and like, I'll go do some more research on that.
Yeah.
All right. We have some more calls. We are going to prioritize debate calls. So if you're in the queue for an office hours call, we will get to you. Actually, no, I want to take this office hours call because it's not something I like to talk about. So never mind. Coming up is Kyle from Texas. Kyle, welcome to the show. You're on with Jovan and John. What's your age and pronouns, Kyle?
I am 29 and he, him.
All right, cool. Now, Kyle, you wanted to ask about how there's no free will in heaven, right?
Yes, I've heard you talk about it a handful of times while I'm watching your videos, and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it to the point where I can explain it to someone else.
Sure. Yeah. I'll give you a really easy analogy to understand it. If you're a parent
Okay.
and your child is injured, you would feel bad about that, right? If your child is
Yes.
suffering, you would feel bad about it. In heaven,
Yes.
there is no, so you would suffer because your child is suffering. In heaven, there's no ability for you to suffer. So therefore,
Because it's
like,
it's paradise.
yes. So if I go to heaven
Okay.
and I know my kid goes to hell, this current Jovan would suffer because of that. I would feel bad knowing my child is suffering in hell for all eternity. But in heaven, I would no longer feel bad about this. So my free will is gone because I no longer have the ability to be upset that my child is suffering. There also, because there's no suffering, you can't commit sin in heaven, which means there are actions that I physically can't do. Because I can't commit sin, I can't cause anyone else to suffer, I can't suffer. So, like, if me and John were in heaven and he said something I didn't like, I can't punch John in the face. It just wouldn't happen. John actually couldn't even say something that I don't like because then I would suffer at the hands of John. So we lose our ability to do a litany of actions, which, again, would mean no free will.
Okay. So in this, like, I guess your example, free will and sin, the concept of sin, they are what, like one and the same? Or is sin like a byproduct of free will?
Free will would
you
just
need
mean that I should
sin?
have the ability, unobstructed from like outside influence, to make choices. So if I'm in heaven and there are choices that I can't make, that means there is outside influence influencing the choices I do make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. Well, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling.
All right. You guys have a good day.
You
Thanks,
too.
Kyle.
Bye-bye.
Always love a good office hours call. We don't have any other calls right now, so 219-327-8005. That's the number. If anybody wants to call in, that's the number you can call. Mandisa will be here soon to talk about ROR. So that's going to happen very soon, about 1 o'clock for that. So you still have time to call in. We could do super chats while we wait.
Yeah.
Let me just see. Yeah, we can do some super chats while we wait. Let's plop up my super chats. Bada bing, bada boom. Balthazar said, at least you can visit space camp. Oh my God, true. I never went to space camp. Wasn't something I do. Pat in the chat
Oh,
said,
yeah.
Jovan, if you
sorry,
like
go ahead.
NASA, no, you're good. Jovan, if you like NASA, Huntsville has the U.S. Space and Rocket Center with a 2-scale Saturn V rocket displayed. It's badass. I don't think I like space as much as most people.
well, so we are going to be going to the Space and Rocket Center and doing a group tour of it on that Sunday. So like that's part of the weekend as well.
Oh, sick.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Venomous said, good morning, Jovan and John. Bad morning to all the fascists and apologists to trans goddess. True, bad morning to them. Renegade Sapper said, vets for Trump or Blue Falcons. I just wanted to make Jovan say live since he skipped my super chat on Tuesday. I didn't skip yours specifically. I just forgot to read all super chats. So
I hate it when I do that.
yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, it's time to go. I'm tired. Balthazar said, isn't water conforming to the whole in the exact concept pitch for enemas? Brother. They also said, I thought Dunning-Kruger was where you know enough about your dreams that you're sure Freddy can't enter them. Crazy. Balthazar also said, not to go on a tangent, but if you can't sin in heaven, can you co-sin? Fuck, dude. And Renegade Cyber said, can you put your free will / suffering into a P1, P2C format? Yeah, in order to have, or let me think how I would word this pretty easily. P1, free will is the decision to make choices sans outside influence. P2, you cannot make every choice in heaven sans outside influence. Conclusion, free will does not exist in heaven. I don't know if that's a good one. That's just off the top of the dome.
Mm-hmm.
219-327-8005. We got some calls screening, but they look to be just office hours ones. So like, Alira the free with 20 gifted memberships on YouTube twice this stream. Alira going hard on the gifted memberships. We love to see it.
Yeah, I really appreciated the first call starting off with like a whole mythicism thing. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, if only he wasn't a giant douchebag.
Yeah, dipshit. But you know, I find
Forrest sent a message in YouTube chat and said, "Tell John to check his phone." He has a text message. I think I know what's about to happen. There's no way John's gonna understand this word.
I've got a text message on where?
I don't know. Forrest said, "Tell John to check his phone." He has a text message.
Oh, okay. Is that like Forrest Valkai or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do we know any other mutual Forrest between us?
No. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's on WhatsApp. Maybe it's WhatsApp. But oh, yep. Yeah, I don't understand this, Forrest. What the fuck? It says, Manish on the beat, shebang. All of my ops, they dead. Why do they gas me up? Where does it go, my head? Is this like an inside joke thing?
You just got Iceman, bitch. Forrest has gotten really into Drake's new album, okay?
Oh, okay.
And so Forrest is now Icemanning people by sending them lyrics to Drake's new album.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I don't listen to Drake, so.
Goddamn, Forrest, I want Forrest right now. Send me a voice note on text of you rapping that part of the song. Seriously, I wanna hear it. On God, and everything. Do that right now. Please, I would be so happy. All right, let's take an office hours call. Coming up is Billy Sipes. Billy Sipes from Texas with an office hours call. Billy, how's it going, Billy?
Oh, it's going all right, Jovan. How are you and John?
Oh, we are chilling, bud.
Good to hear. I wanted to call in, and I'm not sure if it was on your show specifically or if it was just on the line in general. It was a few days ago. There was a caller who called in named Jeremiah who made some comments about people converting to some religiosity. He was saying Christian, but whatever. When they're approaching the end of their life or, they get older or whatnot. And I'll be completely and entirely frank. I'm in a situation similar to myself at this point, and I found those comments to be incredibly insulting. I didn't come to my lack of religious belief easily. I was raised Catholic. I was preparing to go into seminary to become a priest. So for him to say so glibly, oh, well, you'll find out better once you're actually approaching the end of your life, was just incredibly insulting, because I don't feel like I've come to my position or my beliefs or my morality through an easy process. It took about 10 years. And just because I'm now at that point in my life where I'm facing that, no, I'm sorry. I'm not changing my mind. That's not what it comes from. And it really rubbed me the wrong way when I was listening to it.
Yeah. I think what happens is a lot of people, when they get towards that stage in life where they're facing death's door, they just try to find any meaning in that death. And so they'll turn to religion for that. Not because they have some all of a sudden magic proof that religion is real, but it's mostly just they're afraid.
And
Yeah,
I
and
understand that.
this.
I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, that's okay. I've noticed this same trend of things that kind of get brought up, because it's not just with like a normal natural end of life kind of situation that they bring this up with. This is actually it pops up like in the there's no atheists in foxholes things. It's the same concept. There's no atheists on a plane that's in the middle of crashing or something like that. So I mean, essentially, I feel like a lot of that rhetoric is just because of the I guess the main aspect of religion is to sort of defeat death, right? Like especially Christianity, it's the whole idea of you're overcoming death. And I think that a lot of people hold on to that because of what Jovan said, is just that they're afraid of death and what it means to die and to just not exist anymore. But honestly, I feel like that just what that says to me is that this life is like more meaningful. And so it's like if somebody comes up to you and is like, you'll find out when you're closer to death, it's like when I'm closer to death, I'm going to be able to look back on my life and see that I've lived a full life that is happy, joyful, and I've tried to do the best that I can to be, a positive part of the society and a positive impact to those around me. I'm not going to get to the end of my life thinking, oh, well, I've got an eternity still to go. Right. I'm gonna actually feel proud of what I've done in my life. And not to say that religious people won't feel proud or anything like that, but I'm just saying that like I feel like it means more at that point, at least to me.
I 100% agree with you on that. And, I like to donate to the show, to the line, to a lot of charities. And I know that, it's been brought up before how much I do. And I'll be quite frank with you. The reason why is because I want to do as much as I can do in the time that I have to do it. And I feel like that's more meaningful than praying to some nebulous concept of some being that, if it exists, decided, hey, you need to die at the age of 35 or 36. Why would I spend my time wasting my time doing that when I can spend my time actually doing something meaningful to help people and hopefully change lives before that happens? That's my main point on it. And I think that's more important. I think it's more meaningful. I think it's more productive, and it's more loving than the concept of dwelling on unfairness or religious dogma or religious belief. So I think that's really why that particular call rubbed me the wrong way.
No, that's fair as fuck, Billy. And we appreciate you. We appreciate all you did for the RFR fundraiser. We appreciate all you do in the line spaces and our spaces. Like I said, I think John hit the nail on the head, right? I think most of the time, and it's the same reason why I think like Alcoholics Anonymous and like Narcotics Anonymous focus so heavily on religion. It's because people realize that when people hit their lowest points, that's when they're the most susceptible to indoctrination.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I agree with that. I've had my own experience with Alcoholics Anonymous, and my father was an alcoholic, so I have some experience with that. And honestly, while he was not a good person as an alcoholic, he actually became a worse person morally, in my opinion, after going through Alcoholics Anonymous and finding his religion again, because it became almost a replacement for alcoholism in his life. And he went so far in on it that he became, I feel like, a hateful bigot.
yeah. I mean, I get it.
But anyways, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. That call just rankled me enough, and I get it. I understand the concept of being afraid to die. I'm not looking forward to it, but at the same time, it is what it is. Nobody gets out of this alive.
Yeah.
And just making up some kind of fairy tale that, oh, well, we'll die, but we'll go to some pearly heaven that has mansions for everybody and booze and blackjack and hookers all the time, hopefully. But it's just not realistic. And that's perfectly fine with me. I've accepted that. I accepted it a long time ago. And when I found out about this, I accepted it then as well. So I would just encourage anybody who is going through similar struggles, just be true to yourself and do the best that you can for people.
All right, Billy. Well, we
yeah.
appreciate you.
Yeah, I definitely do there, Billy. I appreciate you, that is. I typically try to just kind of turn things around whenever somebody's shitty like that, because what I know about when people get shitty like that, it's either they need to feel better than another person because that's how they feel better about themselves, and I think that that's just sort of sad. I'm not exactly sure of the situation that you're talking about, but typically whenever somebody is either being shitty or is talking down to you or something like that, it's usually coming from that kind of place. So I try to keep that in mind, and that in my mind, that's like, oh, that's really sad for you, is how I kind of approach that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Well, again, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk about it and giving me your thoughts. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep supporting for as long as I can keep supporting, and love listening to you guys. Y'all take care.
You too, Billy. Have a good one.
Thanks, Billy.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Who wants to hear this voice note from Forrest?
Oh my God.
Here we go. Hold on. This is going to be funny. I hope. Okay, he didn't actually do. Is he going to do it? Or is he just laughing? It was just a voice note of him laughing. I thought he was going to send a voice note of him rapping the lyrics. It's just him laughing.
Is he laughing at me? Like,
Yes.
I don't know Drake lyrics.
He finds this to be the funniest thing in the world, and I don't understand it. But he thinks this is the most hysterical joke in the world, is to Iceman people.
What is Iceman, like a song of Drake's or something?
Yeah, it's his newest album.
Oh, okay. The
But yes,
entire
he has a song
album
called Iceman. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm totally out of the loop. I'm so stupid.
Look, there he is in chat going, it's fucking stupid. Anyway, let's bring up our next guest. Coming up next is Sam from New Hampshire. Sam is calling to talk about Jesus being Messiah. Sam, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Sorry, 18, he, him.
All right. Now, Sam, if I'm reading these notes correctly, you are new to Christianity, but you think you've got some some Bible verses that might support this claim. Is that correct?
I do. Also, to make a couple things clear, this is also my first debate. Well, first debate about Christianity. It's a debate for my final project in high school. So
It's a.
you're gonna hear some clickety clackety. That's just gonna
Oh,
be me
you're
taking
debating
notes,
us
that's
for
all
a high
right.
school project.
Yes.
Oh, let me put on my best behavior.
I'll try not to use curses.
It's okay. I'm not recording anything. I'm just taking notes.
Okay.
All right. Well, go ahead. Present your evidence.
So I've a couple claims. Okay, so in the beginning, I don't believe in like the whole heaven, like Earth came to be in 7 days and all that. I believe that there was a strict, a set timeline. But I do feel like the way that I believe that the way that our solar system is like set up, it could define a creator. Like everything is so perfectly set out in a way that doesn't seem realistic. And I mean, I'm sure in the midst of our universe there's more life. But would a fair statement be that if the Bible could be factually proved, that that God could just very well be the embodiment of love as opposed to this magical being?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Could I ask why?
Because the Bible paints God to be a being who, with actions and wants and desires and regrets and all these other things. The Bible very clearly paints God out to be a personified being.
Right. But I mean, and then on like the consensus of like, I feel like any emotion could really display, a personified being. And like, whereas we could go as far into saying that lust might represent, prostitution or like selling whatnot, anything. Or as greed could simply be, we'll go into like modern day scalping for cards. If people want a ton of money, and that can kind of be anybody's persona, right? So like I that's what I personally feel, is that any emotion could genuinely be classified as a being. And I feel like the way that God's announced in the Bible, nobody's seen him, right? And to get like technical,
Well, hold on. Nobody's
what
seen him.
we see.
There has been people that have seen God, though. I mean, not Abraham, sorry, Moses, I believe saw God, right?
Right.
There's a few people that have actually seen God. It's only later that is said that it's actually a contradiction in the Bible that nobody has seen the face of God, because there are people that have seen God.
Well, right, and then I can agree with you too. In the Bible, Jesus had claimed that he can only see he can only do what he sees his Father doing, right? So that would be contradictory to nobody has seen God. But then in the Bible, it does claim that it does. The internal confliction is that nobody has seen God, when there are points in the Bible where people have seen God, and that's kind of where I'm struggling too right now with Christianity, kind of, because I was Catholic and then moving over to Christian. I never followed religion, but
I mean, I think it's hard to paint God out. I know I might be going back a little bit, but I think it's hard to paint God out to be this like embodiment of love when he does some of the most devastating and damaging actions of any being ever. Like God
Right.
has committed more atrocities than anybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you consider stabbing babies in the face to be an embodiment of love? Like, is that something a loving person would do?
Sorry, could you repeat that? What doing what to babies?
Stabbing them in the face with a large knife or sword.
Right. Of course not.
Okay. All right. Well, then God can't be the embodiment of love if he commands his chosen people to do exactly that. Multiple times, by the way. I mean, several times, a lot of times.
Right. I mean, and then even then, we have, I forget what. Sorry, I gotta remember which verse it was. There's a point in the Bible where Jesus is standing there in the middle of a war, commanding his, or not. Sorry, God is commanding people in a war to.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry.
Stab babies in the face.
I'm
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's right. And another thing that I have with internal confliction, um, as we paint God as somebody who's all-seeing, and um, as somebody who's all-seeing, I mean everybody has evil, right? But why create an angel who could do what he did? Referring to Lucifer.
I mean, the only
Though,
reason I can even remotely guess why God has done half the stuff he's done is because God really likes to torment us. And he gets some sort of sick kick out of torment. I mean, there's no other reason, right? Because you have to remember, if
well,
God
right,
has the omni properties, God could
right,
do everything he wants to do without suffering being a result. But he doesn't. He purposely
right,
takes the actions that will cause the most amount of suffering almost 100% of the time.
right. Um, and like I used to, so the thing that's hard on me, just a little bit of a background. I lost my dad a year ago to uh, uh, self self demise, like self caused. And that's when I started switching over to Christianity. I used to debate against the Bible a lot. So like again, internal confliction is it's heavy setting right now. So I do know that I called in about Messiah. And sorry to do like a rapid switch like that. But like I guess let's focus on like the all-seeing part. Whereas God sits there and lets his child, his son, be nailed to a cross. That again, that's not an act of love. But is it safe to say that? Not that I agree with it, but is it safe to say that it could have been in the ideology of making sure that the rest of his children are safe? If you get what I'm
Jo-
saying.
Jovan, I think you're
Oh, I was
muted.
muted. My bad. An all-powerful God
Oh.
wouldn't need to do a blood sacrifice to do that. He could just snap his fingers and then we're all saved.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So I do assume that you don't believe in God, right?
Correct.
Okay. On the contrary, just so that way our points are clear, is there any specific, or is there any way that, since you're debating like the negative, sorry, not the negatives, like the against God, could you? I don't want to conflict your way of debating, but could you use less of God to, set on your like points? You know what I mean? So like, whereas like I get it, like God could snap his fingers. I mean, he probably could, but why would like scientifically and like I guess theoretically speaking, on the note of like why he had to like get his son killed, why is it morally wrong in the Bible, and then why wouldn't that apply to like logistics and like philosophy, I guess?
Why is that morally wrong that he had his son killed?
Yeah, no, like sorry, not why is it morally wrong that he killed his son? I'm asking like why is it morally wrong? Like why do you think?
Oh, because actions that cause unnecessary suffering would be wrong.
Right,
Because
that's
you're
fair.
causing a being who experiences negative reactions to something to experience those negative reactions when they don't need to.
Right. And sorry. I'm just taking notes right now. I think that's actually pretty much all. I think I have enough down. I got a page down. I respect this debate. I respect you guys. I think you guys are great. I've been watching you for a little bit now. I think the debates are good. I appreciate that. And I think that you guys have great points. I think it's really hard for me to say, but I think I'm better at debating against the Bible, even though I'm working towards Christianity.
I think it's easier
And
to
that's
debate
like
against
one
the
of the
Bible because it's really inconsistent.
it is.
Yeah,
And
especially when like you're trying to consider God to be good or want to do the moral argument, because like there's obvious ways that both God in the Old Testament and then God as Jesus in the New Testament are like pretty horrible beings. So like that's just an easy dunk.
yeah. But like for me, it's like it's been as simple as like the one big conflicting thing in the Bible is that we've never really found anything. I mean, I guess that they think they found Noah's Ark, but like they'd never found anything else that could be really proven.
I mean,
Prove that God
we know
exists.
for a fact Noah's Ark isn't real. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean,
so
they thought that they found it. I don't,
they found
I guess that the
they
only
found a
thing,
rock formation on a mountain that they said looks like the Ark. It's really
right?
crazy.
Do you think Jesus exists?
I don't. But if
Okay.
for the sake of the conversation, I'm willing to grant it if you want to get past the whole, savior part.
I think
Right.
it is plausible that a man named Jesus Christ existed. It is
Mhm.
or it's plausible that a man named Jesus of Nazareth existed. It is unlikely that he was divine. It is wholly unlikely he was divine.
Right. And then, so I do know, the resurrection. I can't prove the resurrection even happened. But I know that they didn't have the life-saving tactics back then that they do now. So is it safe to assume that something could have miraculously happened to Jesus? And I mean,
No, because
it's
the way
something as
we
simple
know
as to
that
say,
Romans did crucifixion, it just wouldn't make sense. They left political prisoners who were crucified on those crosses until their bodies were wholly unrecognizable. So even the idea that
okay,
Jesus was removed off the cross within like, what was it, like a day? They take him down, they
mhm,
kill him, and then put him in the tomb like within a day. That is even unlikely to believe.
right,
Yeah, plus Paul actually makes reference to the scripture that seems to explain why that was written into the gospels, and it's because of some theological concept that the Jews considered whenever if you did pin somebody up on a tree as a execution method, they had to be brought down, that day. They couldn't be left up on the tree in that respect. So like there's a theological reason behind it, and so that just adds on to like the fictitious nature of the entire account.
right. Um, I guess that the one biggest thing that is, I have a lot of internal confliction. That really kind of bothers me is that Jesus does have a tomb, and it is in Jerusalem, and
Mm,
what they
which one?
dug it up. The I think it's the
Did
one
you
that's
know
in
Jesus
the
has a tomb in Japan?
oh, does he? I did not know that, because I
Yep,
know that
he's
they
got
dug
one
up
in
like
Japan. Sorry, go ahead.
I know that they dug up one, and I think that they found like intact jade. I think
What?
it was like the okay,
Intact
sorry, it's in,
jade
yeah, the Church of the Holy. Wait, it was like
sepulcher?
they had dug it up in his tomb. There was I think there was some sort of marble stone. I can't remember if it was jade or not. But like it was in Jerusalem. It was his
There's currently like
is the garden
three
tomb.
different supposed there's currently like I think the count is like three different supposed tombs of Jesus.
Right. Um, and
So
then
which one's the real tomb, and how would you know that it's the real tomb?
that's fair. I would assume the one in Jerusalem
Again,
where
I'm just
he
going to
was.
repeat it again.
Right.
It's
Right.
so unlikely Jesus was in a tomb.
Right. Right.
It's just so unlikely. Like, why would the Romans
Um.
ever make, especially for someone they viewed as a political enemy, why would they ever make an
Right.
exception? Romans loved making examples out of their political enemies.
Right.
Yeah, currently there's
And then
three tombs in Jerusalem that are claimed to be Jesus's tomb. So we would need to establish like which one of those is his actual tomb. Sorry, I just looked it up.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. And then would you agree that the Bible has like could you agree with the Bible, in its time as like one of the most government protected books, that it was so like rewritten to be something completely different than what it is now to get people to follow something that might not exist?
Well, I mean, I believe, and I don't know, John might be able to help me out with like whether this is historically accurate. I believe the Old Testament is essentially like Aesop's fables. It was never meant to be taken literally. It just existed as like, hey, these are stories to help you morally guide yourself through a life with the Lord, right? And then the New Testament
Right.
is just, well, I won't get into the New Testament, but like essentially made up babble to further a religious cause.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as far as the New Testament goes, like we don't know what the original New Testament was. We have some bits and pieces
Right.
that survive from like the 2nd century, but 3rd century on is when we have complete manuscripts. And the thing that got me was you claiming that it was the most like the government protected book,
No, it
and
was
that just
government. It
sorry that
was in
just
government
seems
custody for 12 years.
strange. Right. It seems strange to me that you would frame it like that because like we have extensive knowledge about how the Bible was changed over time, and we can actually triangulate those changes and everything. We can know like which ones were original, which ones weren't. But the fact is that we can't know anything about the New Testament stuff prior to the 3rd century because we just simply don't
Right.
have full manuscripts before that point. So we don't know what existed then. But as far as
Right.
like the translations that we have now, the translations of the New Testament at least are going to be the most scholarly ones that adhere to the Greek, the whatever Greek that we have right now. So they
Right.
try to recreate it the best that they can.
Right. That's fair. No, I just looked it up. It was a 15-year-old Bible. It was held in custody for 12 years after being seized from smugglers.
Okay.
But yeah. So and like the reason I say that is too is like you say like we don't have the full like the full thing, of course. But obviously, I'm sure that you'd agree that over time, history changes itself through the eyes of like the way that people perceive things, right?
The way people perceive things. I'm
Right.
not
So
sure
right.
I
So
get what
like
you mean.
so what I'm saying is like over time we would like certain situations kind of like get changed and rewritten into like something completely different. Like through like I'm trying to think of like a really good example here. Like the revolution. And the when we signed the Declaration of Independence, right? Like how Hamilton wrote it, and then like it's completely different from how it happened. You know what I mean? Is that
What?
fair to say?
I'm not.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm not following.
yeah, so we
Well,
signed right.
I
Sorry.
feel like
So
hold on, Sam. Maybe let me see if I can steel man what you're trying to say here is that that history is defined by I guess the people that control the history books maybe like they can rewrite history, but I think that if we as much as people want to change history, that I think that there's still some things that like that can still stick around, and we can recreate that even if somebody tries to change it,
right.
unless you
No,
just
I mean so
totally
what I mean.
obliterate the entire historical record. I think that you would be able to recreate it no matter how much somebody wanted to rewrite history.
Well, so what I'm saying is like over time, like it's history's like shifted, omitted because human memory is fallible, and historical accounts are written by people and personal biases, cultural values, and they heavily influence like which heavily influences like which events were recorded, and how they're framed, and what is purposefully forgotten.
Okay, I'm
Like
not sure how this relates to the wider conversation that we've been having.
no, so what I'm saying is like where I connected like the Bible to like could you say that over time the Bible has like changed or like been rewritten into something else, like even the New Testament or even the Old Testament for that
No,
matter?
no. I mean, I think that the Bible that we have now is pretty reasonably comparable to like the manuscripts that we had starting in the 3rd century. Well, that's what I
The
was
Old
saying is
Testament,
that we don't.
especially.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. No, I think that kind of covers it all. I actually have a few pages now.
All right.
So
Well,
I
Sam,
yeah,
thank you for calling in.
of course. Thank you very much. I appreciate the debate.
Yeah, no problem.
Yep. I
Have a
appreciate you
good
calling
day.
in
Thank
there,
you very
Sam.
much.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, I felt a little out of sorts there. I wasn't exactly able to follow the entire. It didn't feel like it was like, one point or argument after another. It just kind of seemed like he was sort of meandering through them. No hate towards Sam. I just was having trouble following is all.
Yeah, I think he was mostly asking questions, you know.
Yeah.
All right, we got Mandisa here. So before we bring Mandisa up, let's play the video once again for ROR, and then after that we'll come back with Mandisa to talk a little bit about ROR and give you guys some information. Sick.
What's up, y'all? Mandisa Thomas here, inviting you to BN's 2026 Revival of Reason in Atlanta, Georgia. From June 12th through the 14th, join us at the Atlanta Free Thought Hall and Pavilion, where we will be celebrating 15 years of Black non-believers with food, fun, serious discussions, live entertainment, and more. Speakers include Chris Cameron, Candace Gorham, Detroit Atheist Queen, The Friendly Atheist, Godless Engineer, Cynthia McDonald, yours truly, and more. Get your tickets today at blacknonbelievers.org or scan that QR code below. Also, you can book your room at our special group room rate at the Comfort Inn, Atlanta, Smyrna. Official BN members get a discount, so please make sure you become an official member today. Sponsorship opportunities are also available, as well as discounted student rates. Thank you so much for helping us celebrate 15 years as Black non-believers, and we will see you soon.
All right, we're back. Mandisa is here. Hello, Mandisa.
How are y'all doing?
We're chilling.
Doing pretty
We've been
good.
out here fighting that great atheistic fight, you know.
I see. I caught a bit of the last caller there, and I'm with you, GE. I was a little confused myself, at the end. I was like, wow. It was almost as if he was making your point for you when it came to like history being like rewritten and people how people can interpret it, which is exactly what we see when it comes
Mhm.
to the Bible. So it was just like, wow, that was interesting.
Yeah, I think he was. TBH.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you
So
do
yeah,
it.
we people obviously are wondering about ROR and what it is. So like let's like take it away. Tell people what ROR is, it's gonna be, all that fun stuff.
Absolutely. And so, I realized that I was, in trying to pre-record a video, you try to be so professional, and it's just like, wow. But the Revival of Reason is a part of the way Black non-believers fights the good fight, right? So, um, in the course of our work as an organization, we have put on a number of events. And last year we held our first ever revival of reason, which is sort of a spin on a religious revival, right? There's music, there are speakers. It's usually focused on like Christianity and parts of the Bible and such, right? There's probably some good things that people might be able to or try to take from community building and community gathering. But the idea of the revival was brought to me and my team to do something similar, as well as in the vein of how we conduct events. So we wanted to do guest speakers, especially from the secular community, feature musicians and songs and things that we just do um, as not just a Black community, but just as a community, period, right? So, we like to get together, hang out, have cookouts, also hold informational, educational sessions where we are strategizing on what we can do for our future as a community. And so this is our second year of doing this. The first one we did was last year in March of 2025 on the south side of the Atlanta, Georgia area. This year we are going to be more on the northwest side of the metro Atlanta area. And we will be featuring again, like speakers, musicians. And I myself, along with others, are musicians. I am a member of the Godless Gospel Ensemble. We are coming out with an album this year. Like it should be out in the fall. It's a production of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and we're gonna have some good panels. We're gonna have some good music. We're gonna have a cookout. On that Friday night, June 12th. It will take place from June 12th through the 14th of in 2 weeks. And it's also a way to commemorate 15 years of Black non-believers. We've been around for 15 years now. We got started in 2011. And every 5 years, we do a big celebration where we have sort of like, we don't just simply call it a conference, right, or a convention. We like to call it an anniversary celebration. And we just so happened to combine it with the Revival of Reason this year. The title is so apt considering the current political climate. It just seems like reason, critical thought, any type of evidence-based practices are just kind of going to the wayside. And so we have to figure out how to bring that back and also how to maintain it as a community. And so this will also be the opportunity for those who have never been a part of a Black Nonbelievers event in person or even virtually. It's your opportunity to see how we do events, to see our contribution to the non-religious community, especially from the Black demographic. We have historians, we have other authors as well, and folks who are so very intricately involved and are multifaceted within the community. And this will be a good opportunity for folks to experience, to learn, and also to just be, to be, I would say be revived, but also to be supported, to feel, to be more invigorated, especially in this current time. And we want to show folks how we do that here at Black Nonbelievers.
Man, we love all of that, all of it. When it comes to Black non-believers, can you give like the audience a little little history, like why was Black non-believers started? What is Black non-believers goal? What is the mission? What is all of this fun stuff?
Yeah, sure. So we got started as locally as Black Nonbelievers of Atlanta because there were not as many visible Black atheists, or at least there was not an organized community of Black atheists and religion doubters and questioners on the ground in the Atlanta area. And after attending a meetup, which was well intentioned, after hearing from someone that I connected with online, and they told me about their experiences with engaging with predominantly white meetups and the microaggressions and sometimes the discomfort of being the only Black person in the room, as well as dealing with their Black family members and friends and being overwhelmed by that. Um, After I experienced that with a meetup that I attended in 2011, there was only one other Black person at this meetup. And we experienced the same microaggressions. I never met another Black atheist. Well, what are the differences between being a Black atheist and us? We deal with some of the same problems, and it's not that that isn't true. However, when it came to the community dynamic, especially as it pertains to Black folks, I said we're in a very heavily populated city. There has to be more of us out here. Maybe they just don't know where to go. There has to be more Black folks, and this was on the tail end of the Bishop Eddie Long scandal that broke at the end of 2010. Where it became more widely known that he was carrying on sexual relations with young men in his church. It had been this long known secret in the Atlanta area over the years. And he actually had the audacity to lead a protest against, it was an anti-LGBTQ protest. It was anti-same gender relationships. And yet, of course, like with many preachers, he got caught doing what he was protesting. So, I said there has to be more of us out here, because usually if someone thinks they have a minority opinion, or an opinion that they feel like they're alone, and they usually aren't. And so I said there have to be more of us out here. And so in starting first a Facebook group, we started a meetup group. We actually connected with more Black atheists out here. And also we wanted to also intentionally connect with the other groups in the Atlanta area, so that because there was always this question of how can we be more diverse in our communities. What could we be doing better to attract more young people, more people of color, more women, so on and so forth. But it was important for us to establish an organization that specifically, although not exclusively, specifically focused on Black voices, and also Black community members who could directly relate to the challenges of being an atheist. And over the years, I have experienced, even from other Black folks, right? They've never met a Black atheist before. Atheism is seen as being something that white people do, or, and also there is this attack on your Black identity when you identify as an atheist. I mean, it's okay to question religion, right? It's okay to critique the church, especially the Black church. However, you seem to be committing a serious crime if you actually reject all concepts of God and also openly identify as an atheist. And so we wanted to break that stigma and also strengthen the visibility and representation and the voices of the Black non-religious demographic, which was very important, which was something that other organizations, I would say, really was not equipped to do. And so taking my experience as a hospitality professional, as an event services manager, we started doing in-person events. We started connecting. We started going to other meetings and other conventions to let folks know that we were here and we were on the ground in Atlanta. And over time, we increased our scope nationally because folks liked what we did and how we were building community, right? We have a lot of intellectual discussions, but myself and I'll be 50 this year. I don't mind dating myself, right? So I was born in 1976. So I grew up in New York City in the 80s and 90s, and I'm a hip hop head. I was born and raised in Southside Jamaica, Queens. I am quintessential Black culture. And so I think it was important for us to bring that into our organization and connect with people where they were and actually on those levels, because once folks come to those identities as non-believers and atheists, how do we build from there? How do we connect from there? How do we actually foster more growth and relatability through our experiences? And that was very important to the work that Black non-believers does. It was unapologetically Black. It is unapologetically Black. It is unapologetically community. It is unapologetically collaborative. And we found that there are folks from all backgrounds and all stripes who can appreciate getting together in communities that may somewhat resemble what they experience with church, but without the dogma, and and also having conversations and building based on what impacts our communities and how we can actually work to change them. And so, in that time, in 15 years, um, we have put on some notable events, one of which we still do, BNC Con. GE is going to be a guest speaker on there too. Um, we have also
What
connected.
is that one?
That is going to be in November. That is going to be from November 28th through December 6th. There is still time to sign up for those who are interested. We always, again, feature speakers. We incorporate activities into the cruise ships activities. And so that is very
Y'all
interactive,
going
and
on
it's
a
going to be
cruise?
so. Yeah, yes. Yeah, we be
I don't like
cruising.
cruises.
Yeah.
I went on one cruise and I was not a fan.
Oh, it was amazing. Well, yeah,
Well,
it
I
was.
didn't get an invite to this one, so
Yes, you did. You're so
so
funny.
I also no, I'm gonna also mention I like how I get and moored in the little video. I'm an and more. I just want to point that out.
Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Jovan.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, yes, I will. I know it's your show, but you know how we do. So, someone who did not check their email responded to my inquiry a
If
little
you
late.
if you drag me, holy shit. No, it's true. I'm so bad at that.
But
Oh,
you did get your very special, if you would like to show your very special graphic that everyone else got, that would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I have to put that on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, we always like to tease folks with who is going to be there initially, and then we come out with, and actually our schedule is out on our website now because we're getting so close. We do have all of the speakers who and the schedule of events for the revival this year. And we've been featured in a number of interviews, major interviews. Yes, there's
Gang,
Javon.
gang.
There's Javon.
yeah.
Yes.
Been using the same picture to effort promotional stuff for the last 3 years.
That is too funny. Yes. So, kind of going back a bit to the work that BN has done. So we have, we have been we still get contacted by folks, researchers who are doing focus groups and studies, and we get contacted by students who are looking for information about Black non-religious people. We have actually been featured in a number of documentaries, notably Contradiction by Jeremiah Kamara, that is on Amazon Prime. We also are featured in the National Museum for African American Culture's first documentary, which is called God Talk. I'm not sure what's going to happen to that considering the administration, but it's like a 2 hour documentary, and we provided the framework for what Black non-religious community looks like, and speaking to atheism and humanism. In Black communities and among Black people, and we were actually contacted for that, right? We were contacted to for them to hear hear our community's voices on why they are leaving religion and what finding that community looks like. And so we also table at many events, like we're at Dragon Con every year. We table at NanoCon every year, and then that's coming up as well. We participate in the Ark Encounter protest. We are also a member of the Secular Coalition for America, along with some of our partner organizations. And so we encourage people to civically engage. We encourage people to get out there and vote your values, and also speak to your representatives as a non-religious constituent. So we do encourage folks to speak up and speak out if they can, but if they can't, folks know that there is a support system for them. That you are not going to be judged and turned away if you simply say you're an atheist or you have questions, right? But we also encourage people always, if they have experienced trauma from religious indoctrination, to seek support for that. And that is where our partner organizations like Recovering from Religion come in. There's also Surviving the Black Church. That's another entity that I'm a part of. And so we also encourage people to get help for that. And also, whether it's through peer support or through clinical support. And just that representation alone as an organizing body has been very, very helpful for helping people to understand that, for one, they're not alone. For one, there is a community, there is life after religion, especially coming from Black communities. And so that has been the core of our mission, to let people know that there's a place for them to just to let loose and breathe, right? They can breathe and be around people who understand. We
Can we
do.
go over
Mhm.
the schedule a little bit for ROR so people know what we're going to be doing?
Absolutely, yes. And just for your viewers, the schedule is also, you can live stream it. There is a there's a small fee to live stream. So if you can't be there in person, please do register.
Can you see the live stream tickets currently, like the ticket sales?
Right now they're a little under par, but we want to
No, but if
increase
people buy
those.
tickets right now, can you see the number go up?
Yes, yes.
Okay. How much are tickets for the online? How much are the tickets for the online?
They start at $25.
All right,
Um,
chat, setting a goal,
mhm.
for you mothers. If we can get at least 10 online tickets sold, 10 online tickets sold within the next 10 minutes, I will give away a sweatshirt, piece of merch, sweatshirt, to YouTube and Twitch. I'll give away one for each. So that means we need 10 tickets. The link should be in both chats pinned. 10 online tickets to ROR. So if you were going to get them anyway, get them now, because then you might win a free sweatshirt.
Yes, and there are student discounts. Students only pay $10. It's $10 for student tickets. And if you're an official BN member, you get a discount, which is $5 off. So if you're paying for the 25, you can just get it for 20. And then of course, if you're a student member, you get it for $5. So yeah, so definitely, yeah, and 25 for 3 days is I think is perfectly reasonable. I hope you all do too. So but yes, we can definitely go over the schedule for the revival, which starts Friday, June 12th. And so that Friday evening, we will begin our registration process where folks can come in, get their badges, get their program, get their Revival of Reason t-shirt, and then we're gonna have the cookout. Everyone who has a ticket is invited to the cookout. So we're gonna have, we're gonna have some of your favorite barbecue eats. And we're also going to be playing different games, especially spades. We're going to be playing spades at the cookout. So if you are a spades player, no matter who you are, we welcome you. We invite you to enjoy to join in the spades game. We're also going to have Uno.
I was about to say, I don't know how to play spades, but if there's Uno, I'm about to demolish. I'm about to be. I'm going to be to the point where people are going to wish I was not there, because I am a belligerent Uno player. I go too hard on Uno.
Yeah, we'll have Uno, and then also Deanna Williams, who is one of our board members and one of our Revival of Reason team members, created a game called Name Dropping. It's the frustratingly fun movie trivia card game. GE played this game with us during one of our member meetups, one of our virtual member meetups. It's so much fun. It's movie trivia, and it's not just old movie trivia, right? It is culturally relevant movie trivia, movies that have been in recent years, and also like some popular Black movies as well. And so it is, and then the clues can be very, very difficult. You really have to know. Well, it can be for
I
like
shouldn't play.
your average
I shouldn't do trivia. When I went to visit Jimmy, Arden, and Matt in Texas this over the spring, we went and did nerd trivia, and I think I pissed off every person in that building because I got zero. I think I got one question wrong. I think I got literally one question wrong. Everybody was like, "Who is this
No,
guy?" And I was like, "I don't even live here. I still have my
no. So
that trivia night right here."
in that so the trivia night that I played with Mandisa and the other members of the Black non-believers, there was this one question that got posed, and I got it immediately on the first like reveal. I was like, up, Hidden Figures. It was like I was a little embarrassed. I jumped at it, and but yeah,
Slight tangent. Does anybody remember when Hidden Figures and Fences came out at the same time and people were being like, Hidden Fences, that movie Hidden Fences? Mandisa, real quick, and we'll get back to the schedule. I had a question from chat. This is from Ramy and B. Said, hi, really hoping I can make it to ROR in 2 weeks to see the three of you. Are single day tickets available as well? And do I need to buy tickets for my kids under 12? Thank you. Also, I'm a Spades pro.
Oh, yes. So the question to that, no, we are not charging for children under 12. And you can buy single day tickets. We can definitely accommodate single day tickets. I do want to say that we just got in 5 virtual registrations. So thank you.
Two more,
Thank you to
5
your
more.
folks.
5
Yeah,
more virtual
5.
registration. I'll give away a sweatshirt in Twitch chat and a sweatshirt on YouTube chat. So 5 more,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah, we can accommodate we can definitely accommodate same day tickets. I will say that the full the full entry for all 3 days is $100, and that includes food. That will include all of these satellite events. So if you can swing that, you don't have to worry about, because that's one thing that's very important to us. And I think that's the beauty of having women who organize conferences, right? We want to make sure that everyone is fed. We want to make sure that everyone is sustained and has sustenance. We don't want anybody feeling like they have to pay more than than what they can afford. So if it is feasible, we absolutely love for you to be there in person. But yes, we can accommodate same day tickets, which will include food and snacks for the plenary session. So, but yeah, and no, we will not be charging for children under 12. So please bring your kids. We just got 2 more. We got 2 more. We got
That
2
means
more
3 more,
virtual
guys.
registrations.
3 more, and y'all
Yes.
gonna win some merch today. What are
Yes.
gonna be some of the sessions, Mindy? So what can people look forward to on like Saturday when it's time for like it's not just Saturday, but Saturday and
Yes,
Sunday when
yes.
it's time for actual information sessions.
Absolutely. So I do want to go back to Friday for a moment, because we
Oh,
will be
yes.
having what we call an after dark panel. So yes, after dark, we have curated a be in after dark, right? Where we talk about everything: sex, sexuality, sexual liberation, especially as it pertains to unindoctrinating ourselves, right? And so we will have a panel about um, conduct, consent, and copulation. That's going to be very, very important. And so that's going to be a very important discussion that I think folks should be present for. But on Saturday, we're going to be GE and the GT3 backup dancers. That's, we call it the Godless Treacherous 3. That stands for Godless Treacherous 3. We're going to be opening with a song. There's also going to be a panel of about 15 years of BN that's going to feature myself and other activists and folks who have been with us since the beginning, and talking about what that has looked like for us, and seeing the transitions of Black non-believers and how it has grown from a local group in Atlanta to national and also international visibility. We're also going to have a Christian nationalist panel. There's going to be discussions about how we get involved and how we fight back during this crucial time. Someone who was on the stream is going to be discussing debating and engaging community. And also how to navigate finding community and navigating loneliness as a non-believer, because that's always a challenge for folks. And also, we're gonna have some music from one of our members, Tenzin. Shout out, he's a hip hop artist, local to Atlanta, but been a BM member now for about 10 years. So you'll hear some music from him. I had the opportunity to be in one of his videos a couple of years ago. That was just so cool. But that was a lot of fun. And so we're gonna be talking some very, very serious, having some very serious discussion. And Hemant, the friendly atheist, is going to be discussing the weaponization of biblical womanhood. So it's another Christian nationalist talk that is going to be a theme of how we are fighting back and getting engaged. And so Saturday night is going to be our 15th anniversary celebration jam. We're going to be jamming out there. There's going to be some music from Godless Gospel as well. We're going to do a couple of songs that day. And then on Sunday, we're going to open with more Godless Gospel. And then there will be a content creation panel, which GE is going to be on. And also, we're going to have a queer and free thinking panel, and especially pertaining to the MAGA era. What does that look like to be queer and a free thinker from the LGBTQ plus community? And we will be closing with our keynote, Chris Cameron, who is the author of Black Freethinkers, A History of African American Secularism. He's also one of our board members. He's going to be speaking on moving towards a global history of Black humanism, because Chris, as a historian and a researcher, has been compiling. He's actually been compiling his research on Black non-religious history. That is where his book Black Freethinkers comes in. It is available. Well, you can find the link to it on our website. He's done quite a few talks on the book as well. And historic Black humanists, atheists, and freethinkers. There are still some folks who aren't aware of them. And also, it also transitions into the monthly meeting for the Atlanta Free Thought Society, who's having their monthly meeting. This is their space, their primary space where they host their meetings, the Atlanta Free Thought Hall and Pavilion, excuse me, which is actually an old church building, ironically, right? The street is called North Church Lane. So, that is what you can look forward to. That is just like the brief, like the abbreviated description, but it will be a full weekend of events. And we'll be getting started bright and early with breakfast, and then, like I said, we're gonna have lunch, and then we'll have the barbecue and then the jam. So we're gonna have food and stuff all around, and just lots of good information. Lots of
Okay, I do have another question real quick from chat, Mandisa.
Sure.
Melatonin Ale said, if I buy virtual now, can I upgrade to an in-person later? Need to discuss with husband about going in person since we need to make travel plans.
Yes, that'll be fine. You can just reach out to us, and sure. Yeah, we can definitely listen. I like to be very accommodating to people in their travel plans. And yes, we can definitely work on that if you purchase. And there's right now it's still at 7, so you still got 3 more registrations to go.
3 more, guys.
So,
3 more, and you win. You could win a
yeah.
sweatshirt. You could win a sweatshirt off the merch store. Listen,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
next
but
week
yes.
I'll donate a bunch of virtual tickets myself. Who knows? Could happen.
Hey now. We love all the support that we can get because we want to make sure that everyone has access to this, especially those who who cannot come in person. But yes, if you get your virtual ticket now, we could definitely accommodate an in-person ticket. So yeah,
Scan the QR
definitely do
code. I
that.
don't know how you'd scan it on your phone, but there's a QR code. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sure there's a way. Oh, take a screenshot. If you take a screenshot, you can go in and do the QR code. Take a screenshot of the QR code. Go and buy a ticket. Support ROR and Black non-believers. Come out to the event if you can. It's gonna be a fun day. It'll be the first time me and John will get to meet too.
Yes,
Think of that.
we'll be
That's gonna
meeting
be
in
some
I'm getting a
person
fun.
I'm getting a
too.
selfie. I'm getting a
Yeah.
selfie.
Yes, and I will say that
Oh.
the venue is very disability accessible. There is an accessibility ramp, and the space is not so. It's an intimate space where there's room. There's a lot of room, but there's also not a lot of. You won't have to do a whole bunch of walking, especially if you are a person with a disability. So it is
W
very,
for
very
me.
disability accommodating. And the host hotel is basically right around the corner from the venue. If you need rides, let us know. Transportation, please do let us know, and we'll make sure that we accommodate and help you with that. So that is a part of the community building piece that we love to have, or that we like to feature at Black Nonbelievers. So and we've noticed that at other events where we have tabled and worked with. So yeah, we absolutely would love for you to come out and experience and hear from folks you may not have never heard before. Learn about the activism that BN has done and that we have curated and cultivated in 15 years and for years to come. And also learn learn how our allies partner with us, folks like GE, folks like like Helen Green, who's doing our social media takeover, and she's also doing live fundraising. She's going to be doing interviews as well, of speakers. And so I want to give a shout out to the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the American Humanist Association, Secular Rising, and Americans United for Separation of Church and State, whom we have partnered with and who have partnered with us on this event. We definitely could use more folks again attending and supporting. So still at 7. But yeah,
Well,
I'm
so here's what we'll do,
mhm.
because Fuzzy Logic, one of the mods, has pledged 3 virtual tickets, 1 for himself, 2 for others.
Okay,
He's not
yay.
and I know Fuzzy's good for it. So Fuzzy's made the
Yeah.
pledge of 3. So I'll take that. That'll be 10, and
Okay.
we'll do a giveaway. Let's do the giveaway before Mendisa leaves, so that way we all get to enjoy. I'm gonna run the giveaway first on YouTube. YouTube, this is going to be for everybody. What's going to happen is there's going to be a keyword that you have to enter. It's going to be exclamation mark enter. Okay, exclamation mark enter. You are going to have what'll I do? 2 minutes. You're going to have like 2 minutes to enter, and then we're going to choose a winner. So
Yes.
starting right now, exclamation point enter to enter on YouTube. Twitch. For you guys over on Twitch, I'm going to give you a different giveaway thing. Here we go. Twitch. Yours is going to be exclamation point. Wait, I missed it already. What was Twitch's? Yours is exclamation point enter as well on Twitch. So on Twitch, exclamation point enter will enter you in. Never mind. Twitch is doing that thing where it doesn't read the entries. So actually, never mind. Twitch, I have to go and fix it. Stop entering on Twitch. Stop entering on Twitch. I have to go redo it. Stop entering.
Now, will this be
Twitch,
for
stop.
everyone will this be, I'm sorry, Jovan, will this be for everyone who has already registered? Because I have all the names.
This is for anybody in chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you win
Cool.
on YouTube, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to DM me on like Instagram or something with proof of your YouTube account as the winner. So that way I know it's you, and then I can send you a code. If you went on Twitch, I'll send you a code via Whisper over on Twitch. But YouTube doesn't give us like a way to message people. So So let me try to get
Well, that
Nightbot up on
sucks.
Twitch so we can do the same thing using Nightbot. Okay, Twitch, exclamation point, enter on Twitch now. There it goes. That's registering. So we got Twitch and we got YouTube. We're going to choose a winner on YouTube. Someone give me a drum roll. Or don't. There we go. The YouTube winner,
We'll have
the
to
YouTube winner
improvise.
is
Boom.
Rikura 231. Rikura 231, you did win a sweatshirt from my merch store.
Yay!
If you could just message in the chat and confirm to me that you want it, so that way I know to get it to you. And then what you got to do is you got to DM me on something like Instagram. My Instagram DMs are open. So if you message me on Instagram, okay, you do want it. Beautiful. Message me on Instagram with proof of your and the shirt will give the sweatshirt will give away. We'll do the solidarity. No, we won't do the solidarity one. We'll do the, what's a good one that kind of fits with this? None really. We'll just do a commie cunt hoodie. All right. You can win the commie cunt hoodie. So yeah, message me with proof of your account, and then you'll get that win. I'm unfortunately not on Insta, but I have Facebook and Discord. You should be able to do it on Discord or Facebook if you're a part of my Discord. But just find a way to reach out for me. On Twitch, Twitch, you ready for me to choose a winner? Are you ready, Twitch? Let's get our drum roll over on Twitch. There we go. Twitch, the winner is Lord Richmond. Lord Richmond, you have won on Twitch. Do you want your prize? Let's see if they message and say yes. Yes, please. Okay. I will just whisper you, Lord Richmond, a link so you can go and get it. And then I'll send the link to Rikura if they send theirs. Okay. And bada
Yes.
bing, bada boom. We sold some
And
tickets.
yes, and we just got in another virtual registration. So thank you
Woo.
to everyone. And please don't let this be the last time you register. So yeah, we will be taking all of the registrations, especially within the next 2 weeks. So we thank you so much, Jovan, for helping us boost our online sales. We appreciate you so much. And again,
Absolutely.
for those of you who are watching, it's still not too late to get your ticket and join us in person, especially if you've never met Jovan in person. This would be your opportunity. So yeah.
I personally
True.
can't wait to meet Jovan in person.
Yeah. GE and I have met in person, especially with Casey last year at the events. And so we'd love to have Jovan a part of more in-person events as well. So, time and availability permitting. So yeah,
I'll
thank you.
gladly come to anything I'm invited to. I do love me speaking as speaking engagement. Actually, this will be the very first speaking engagement I've ever done. So
Yes, and you know what? That brings me back to another point of what we do at BN, that we often platform first-time speakers, and we like to help boost people, especially Black content creators, visibility in person at speaking engagements, because that is very important. We like to increase the speakers bureaus for organizations and for conferences. And so when folks can say that you have spoken at this event, that adds to your resume. So I'm excited about that.
well, thank you, Mandisa, for coming up and letting us know everything. We'll play the little trailer video before stream ends, just so everybody gets one more reminder of ROR. Yeah, Mandisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank y'all so much again for having me, and I look forward to seeing y'all in 2 weeks.
It was
All
good
right,
seeing you,
Mandisa.
Mandisa.
You too,
You have a good
G.
rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right, chat. That was Mandisa.
Mandisa's great. Always
Yeah.
always love seeing her at the conferences and everywhere.
Yeah, it's gonna ROR is gonna be a fun time. I'm gonna kick your ass in Uno, and it's gonna be great.
You're gonna be ruthless, huh?
Oh, I am unashamed at the way I play Uno. All right, let us go to take more calls. All right, let's take more calls.
I'm here
So,
for it.
where are we at right now? Okay. Shout out to the people that waited in the call screener because they waited for a
Yeah.
while. So, coming up to stream, we have David. David calling from Kansas to talk about God being real. David, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
I'm 45 and he, him.
All right,
Awesome.
David, 45, he, him. Now, David, you're going to call and tell us that God is real. So if you have a good argument to convince us for God's realness, we would love to hear it.
Sure. And I'll try to make this as succinct as possible. But you would start at just observing the world around you. And from observing the world around you, you're going to see certain things that prove out to be true, things within nature that act a certain way. You'll notice, as you continue to observe, that things work towards a specific end. And for example, something like the evolutionary process, the survival of the fittest. That process works to a specific end. The end is beneficial and good towards the species that survives, the animals that survive. So that whole process works towards that specific end. That end, because it is beneficial, therefore necessitates some type of intelligence behind it. And because that process requires some type of intelligence, because it's not chaotic, it doesn't just randomly happen. It is, although randomly selected, working towards a specific end.
So,
and
David?
therefore, you can come to the conclusion that that specific end, that intelligence behind it, can be construed to be God.
So, David,
Go
would
ahead.
you say that we just have to look at the trees in order to know God exists?
Just looking at trees, I don't think you could come to that conclusion.
Okay,
But
so you
looking
need
at
something more
why
than
do
just
certain types of trees, why do certain type
Okay.
of trees survive while others don't? Why do certain animals? Why does the moon do what it does? Why does the sun do what it does?
Gravity.
And
Yeah, I don't know
I
what
understand,
the
but why does
moon
the
doing what it
gravitational
does.
process work?
What do you mean by the moon doing what it does? I don't know what that means. Do you just mean
Well,
orbiting?
why does it orbit the way it does? And I understand that there are, well, we have
Gravity,
scientific
like Jovan said.
explanations
Jovan said
behind it. Sure.
gravity. Yeah, it's just gravity.
Yeah.
And then like the moon lights up at night, that's reflection. Like it's reflecting the light from coming from the sun. I don't know. How is God a factor in any of this?
Because it has a specific end. It serves a certain purpose.
And
It's working towards doing something. And
What goal is
just take
gravity working
for
towards doing?
example.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, it keeps it. The process of gravity maintains things doing what it does. For example, because we are within the gravitational pull of the sun, we're not just flying freely through space. So that particular process works towards the end being beneficial towards the Earth, and because
No, okay.
there is an end
So
to
there
the
are plenty.
process.
Hold on. If that were,
purpose.
hold on, David. If that were the case, then every planet in the solar system would be teeming with life, or at least be habitable to life. If that were the case, I feel the Earth orbiting around the sun is just where we sit in the rung, right, of its influence, and we're just constantly like that's what orbit is. It's a constant free fall, right? So we're constantly free falling and missing around the sun. I don't see where God is necessary in that. I also don't see like a projected end or something like that, like a need or anything like that for it, right? Like I just don't see any purpose in that other than that's just how physics operates. And the way that we understand gravity operating right now is that mass displaces space-time, and the Earth is like sort of. You ever been to a mall where they've had those like things that have the quarters, you slip the quarter in and it's like this sort of funnel, this inverted funnel, and it just goes around and around and around. Have you ever seen one of those?
Sure. Yeah.
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 There's no purpose in that. That's just how physics operates. I feel like what you're getting at is that God is somehow necessary for physics to operate. And I think that bringing up like the moon and nuclear fusion in the sun and how all that works kind of gets like really into the weeds of like the science of it. I typically like to go to something a bit easier to understand, and that would be like the water cycle here on Earth, which I think that you would say has some kind of like predetermined purpose for the water cycle. But
No, no.
can you explain to me
I
what the
wouldn't
water
say a
cycle is first?
predetermined purpose. I wouldn't say a predetermined purpose. I
Okay.
would say that there is purpose to it. There's purpose to physics. You're saying, well, it just ends at physics. Well, I'm saying that if there was no end to it, if there was no purpose to it, not predetermined per se, but just a form and function to it. Let's call it that.
Well, why would
Because
that
there's
prove
a
God?
form and function to it, because there has to be, otherwise it would just be chaotic. If there was no intelligence
is.
behind it, then there wouldn't be a form or function to anything, and there wouldn't be life. There wouldn't be anything at all.
No.
Any process whatsoever.
What I think fits this more is like when John brought up the puddle analogy earlier, that fits this like really well, right? But like I'll take it to I have a bottle right next to me that I pour water into to drink out of. Was my water perfectly made
Okay.
for that bottle, or did my water just envelop the space that the bottle would hold? Like my water adapted to the shape of the bottle.
Well, I would say that the water is forming to the shape of the bottle.
That's life.
But then
that's what is the universe. Like life specifically, we adapted to live on this planet. It would started out as simple molecules that over time through abiogenesis and evolution adapted to live in this environment. We don't know that we're not going to find life.
Adaptation. I understand, but that adaptation is an intelligent process.
No, that adaptation
that's the intelligent end to it.
That adaptation took saying it's an intelligent process would be claiming that there's a mind behind it, which I don't think we can say because adaptation takes billions of years. It took billions of years for us to get to this point.
Whether it takes the length of time is inconsequential, because it doesn't matter how long it takes. The fact that there is
the mind?
that adaptation end, fact that we're working towards an end, that being that life propagates, is that intelligent end.
So,
there
Matt,
has to be intelligence behind it.
David.
And I'm saying that that has to be true because the inverse is not true. We don't have pure chaos.
David, so when I was bringing up the water cycle earlier, the how the water cycle operates is that you've got liquid water, right? The liquid water absorbs energy and the atoms become excited and it transforms state right into water vapor. And that water vapor rises up and it stays up in the air, becoming clouds and everything like that. When it cools down or it loses enough energy, it then becomes precipitation in various ways, like either snow, rain, or whatever. And it falls back down to the ground, where it then again will reabsorb more energy and then restart the entire cycle over again. Okay. Now this happens regardless of whether or not the planet or area has life on it, right? So this is regardless of life or anything like that. Like it has like the changing of state of various materials that just happens without any, like, with no care or purpose for anything out there. So you keep talking about a mind being necessary for these things, and I'm just kind of curious, where does the mind of God fit into the water cycle? Like, is God making the decision? Like, does he have to make the decision every time a state change happens?
Well, that's a different discussion. I could argue.
I don't
I
I don't
could
think
go
that it
down that
is.
particular argument, but I really
No,
wanted
I
to.
don't think that it is.
Well,
Because you're saying that a mind is necessary for basic physical things to happen, like state changes. And so, unless you're going to tell me how God's mind factors into absorbing energy and changing state, I feel like you have no argument.
well, again, I made the point earlier that if the reason why that there has to be intelligence is because the inverse cannot be true. We know the
That's
inverse
just
is
a
not true because that's
presupposition.
not the state of things.
That's just a
That
like you're presupposing the inverse can't be true, but you haven't demonstrated why the inverse can't be true.
the inverse can't be true because otherwise we would have pure chaos. We don't have pure chaos.
I would
What does
disagree.
pure
Anything,
What does
anytime,
pure chaos
anytime
mean? What
there
does
is
pure chaos? Hold on. What, David? What does pure chaos even mean? Like, what do you mean by pure chaos?
there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. It's just as the word implies. It is. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it.
If God
and
can
we can see
if
that
God can if God can arbitrarily suspend the natural order of reality to enact his will, just in general, then I feel like there's no way that you can actually do science, and that it would actually be more chaotic, because there's no way that you can make accurate predictions whatsoever into the future. I mean, you're proposing a God that arbitrarily does these things for no rhyme or reason. How is that not chaos?
he is arbitrarily doing what exactly? I'm sorry, I'm not following that part of the argument.
Right. He arbitrarily suspends the natural order of reality to affect things. Like, in the Bible, he arbitrarily affects the weather in order to get Jonah kicked off the boat and get swallowed by a whale. He arbitrarily suspends the natural order of reality for a whale to even swallow a human. He arbitrarily suspends the natural order of reality for a human to survive inside of a whale for 3 days. Like, and that's just one story out of the Bible in this respect. And you could take that for any particular, like, miracle or anything that you think is needed for God. The point of fact is that we have natural explanations. We have natural explanations for things in reality. Those natural explanations have always superseded supernatural ones. Until you can find me a situation that is superseded by a supernatural explanation, the natural explanations are always going to win out.
I also think, like, the three body problem.
I agree with you.
Kind of exemplifies that, like, gravity is hella chaotic, because we can predict gravitational movements of one celestial body. We can predict it of two, but it becomes real hard to predict it with three. It becomes chaos.
Okay, but you're just adding complexity to there. You're not. It doesn't defy gravity. It's just more complex than we haven't been able to extrapolate out that
chaotic.
far. No, it doesn't. To say that it's chaotic, meaning that it blows up the laws of physics.
Wait. Are you
just because we can't extrapolate that out?
When you say that there is no chaos, do you just simply mean there is nothing that disobeys the laws of physics?
I'm saying that it cannot that it doesn't disobey the natural order of things.
But wait. But what is natural order? Like, what are you like? What is your barometer for natural order?
My barometer for the natural order is the thing acting within its nature. So it's going to do a certain thing, whether that be gravity or a planet or I'm sorry?
But that's what I'm saying. Gravity doesn't just do a certain thing. When you rank up gravity, like a black hole, gravity does not act the way it should when it comes to a black hole. It acts vastly different to what we see gravity doing.
Okay, that's fine. But at that point, then we're just saying that we just haven't figured it out. And I would say that that's absolutely true.
What?
And in other words, I'm not. And at some point, they're going to be able to figure out, like, hey, we figured out what happens within black holes. You're the formula for it.
Black hole is
Would
just
you say that's not true, or are you saying that that's
certain,
completely impossible? That we've
No. So a black hole, it's not like a hole. Like, I mean, there could be a hole through space time or whatever, but it's just an infinitely dense part of space time. Like that's what that
Sure.
is, and that's why
and
like
and we have no
physics,
model for it.
What?
But
No,
again, we have no
What do you
model
mean we
for
don't
it,
have a model?
and that's fine.
What do you mean we don't have a model
just
for
as the well, just as the other gentleman saying that it is defying what we know of gravity right now.
Well, it's acting
Okay.
completely contradictory to what we know gravity operates at, which means
Okay.
gravity doesn't have
And
these set rules that it obeys. It acts differently depending on the forces that are enacted upon it.
So that I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. What I'm saying that doesn't disprove anything I'm saying. It doesn't act the way we know of that we can predict, but we can predict up to a certain
You're still
point.
not proving the
We're
mind.
drawing a line and saying that we're getting up to. I'm sorry.
But none of this is proving a mind. You're still doing a massive
It's still
leap.
working. It's still not chaotic. There's still rhyme or reason to it. You're saying, well, black holes. Well, black holes what? We just haven't gotten to the point where we can say definitively what happens inside of a black hole. We might in the future. You have no idea.
Do you think God
now you're
intelligently
talking
designed
science of the
everything in the
gaps.
universe?
Has God intelligently designed everything in the universe? God has intelligently designed all the processes of the universe. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess you could extrapolate that out.
Do you agree that God? Would you agree that God designed the nature and function of all the beings that exist on Earth?
The nature of things, the nature of humanity, sure.
Humanity, animals,
the individually designed.
Like our
to a certain point.
our physiology. Did God have a say in our physiology?
Sure.
Okay, and he had a say in the physiology of animals.
And he had a say in the physiology of animals, sure.
Okay. How did
in the process of evolution, I would say so, yes.
How did a being with a mind consciously develop a duck's penis? Have you seen a duck's penis before?
Does it? Let me ask you this: are they able to procreate? If the answer is yes, then it's doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Male and female ducks' anatomies essentially don't line up perfectly to where duck males essentially have to rape duck females every time they want to impregnate one of them. Like, it is painful for a female duck because their physical anatomy stuff don't line up.
Okay.
How is that? How is that designed?
Morality.
But how does a mind? I'm not talking about morality. I'm not talking about morality. Why would a mind come up with this design?
You just said the word rape, though, and saying that the male duck
female ducks try to fight it. Female ducks try to fight it and get away. What would you call that? They actively try to get away from the experience.
Well, you're anthropomorphizing the duck. That's what ducks do.
If a duck is having sex with another duck, and the female duck is trying to run away, what would you call that?
Well, I mean, it's no different than what is the female mosquito eats the male mosquito after they procreate.
I think
what would you call that?
It's a pivot.
That's just the way those particular animals work. Maybe you would have designed it differently.
Design them that way.
But I would argue then. That's just.
You think God?
I mean, respectfully,
you think your God likes rape?
Why would why does God
like
create
rape?
ducks the way they are?
You told me that God had a say in the physiology of animals, So I'm asking why this intelligent being would design animals in which the only one of the most common ways they have sex is by forced copulation.
But they're copulating for procreation. And do we have ducks? Yes, we have ducks. We have baby ducks. So it's obviously
So
working.
hold on, David.
Why
You're
the
the one
oh
that
my,
you're
there's
you're
no
you're
way.
you're
David,
you're
David, do
placing
you
you're
think
placing
David,
morality
David,
onto that duck's
David,
actions. The duck
no,
just
no, no,
does what
no.
the
I
duck
want to
does.
touch on something you just said, David. So I mean, you seem to make it out to be. Let me know if I'm getting this right. That it's okay for the
Sure.
way that God made ducks procreate because they're procreating. The fact that they are reproducing, that makes how he made them procreate okay. Is that
And
would that be a correct way?
one additional caveat. Yeah,
Okay.
100% with one additional caveat. Ducks are not rational animals.
Okay. Well, so does that make it okay if you go out and you rape a woman as long as you have the intent to reproduce? Like, does that make rape okay?
Humans are rational animals. They're rational and moral beings. And ducks are not.
Okay. Well,
Now you
yeah,
guys
but
are
that
making them
wasn't.
into
No, no,
that.
no.
You're saying that
you're.
no, ducks are
I get your
rational
caveat.
animals and saying that they.
David,
Nobody
I
is
get your
saying this.
caveat. No, so
You
David, I
use
get
the
your
word rape. That's
caveat
what
that
I'm
you
saying.
added.
Like,
Hold on, you added the caveat on later. You made it out to be like
well, because I
God
knew what
made the
direction you were
ducks.
going.
Oh, okay. Well,
Would you not
but
say
then
forced copulation is
That's
rape?
the difference. So that's a big distinction,
is
though.
forced
That's a big
copulation not rape?
distinction. You can't.
Why does it not become rape all of a sudden when
It
it's
is.
animals?
It is for humans because we're
Why?
rational animals. We can decide
why
right
does
or wrong.
rationality
The
why
duck
does
does not.
rationality factor
Wait,
into the
whoa,
rape
hold on,
aspect?
whoa, hold on. So you're telling me that if it's between two beings that don't rationalize, then it's no longer rape?
An animal.
We are animals.
I wouldn't say that about all humans.
We're animals.
No, humans are animals.
Yes, we're animal up to a certain point. We are rational
we're
animals.
all-
That's
we're-
what
we're
makes
animals.
us different from
No, but
part of the great
all
but
other
wait,
animals.
you're saying the distinction, the difference is that the difference between humans and animals is the rationality.
Yes.
So can rational animals rape each other?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So
Ducks are not.
can a
So ducks are
rational
not raping
being
each other.
rape a non-rational being?
Can a rational being rape a non-rational being? Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
But
Interesting.
who's in the wrong? Not the non-rational being. The goat being chased around by the guy and being raped by the guy is not doing anything wrong. The man who should know right from wrong is what's doing the wrong.
So David, if a male chimpanzee rapes a female chimpanzee, or sorry, forcibly copulates with a female chimpanzee, is that rape or is that not?
Chimps are not rational animals.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's not true. That they actually
Most
are.
great apes are capable of reasoning.
Okay, well, you give me the great piece of art or literature created by
Rational
a chimp, and then we can have an argument.
Rational doesn't mean creating great art or literature. What great art or
That
literature have you created?
that is a sign of it.
I don't think you know what rationality
No.
means.
Rational literally means capable of reasoning. Has nothing to do with art.
Capable of reasoning, yes, but just because it can use a simple chain of logic does not mean it's capable of reasoning.
Yes, that's actually exactly what would mean it's capable of reasoning. It's able to infer from point 1 to point 2. It's able to plan ahead. It's able to this is reasoning. Crows are rational. Elephants are. What about elephants? Elephants can draw and paint, and they feel proud of the paintings and art that they draw. They get upset when those things are destroyed. Are elephants rational?
You don't really know. And the elephant can't say that it's proud. You're anthropomorphizing
we know that it's
the
proud
animal.
based on
You're
its
the
actions.
elephant. You're saying that it feels proud. Okay, how do you know that? Is it able to communicate with you and say, "I feel proud of this"?
No,
No, it
they
can't.
mourn. They mourn when their pieces of art are destroyed. That would infer pride. They get upset when their art is destroyed.
Who, who
Chimps,
but who's doing the inference
chimps
here?
mourn when we've directly communicated with chimps who mourn when people or other animals close to them die. They get upset. That's rational thinking.
That's rational thinking to a certain point. You could say that a chimpanzee could reason to a very, very rudimentary level, but that's also why you wouldn't place.
It doesn't matter the level. It's still employing rationality. Like, and you're saying that they would be raping. You're all over the place, David.
You're no,
special
absolutely
pleading.
not.
Do you know what special pleading is?
You're trying to make dichotomous statements out of everything, but
no.
You wouldn't
We're just exposing the special pleading that you're using in order to make your point here.
I'm not special pleading anything. I'm explaining the nuance
yes, you
here
are.
because you guys keep kicking the ball. You guys keep kicking the ball down the court, and which is fine. But then you're like, well, what about this? Well, what about that? It's like, okay, well, let me explain that to you because it's nuanced. You wouldn't place the same
so how we got to this point,
on
David,
a 2-year-old.
David, how we got to this point was that you were saying that the mind of God is necessary for everything, and it, like all the laws of physics, and God had his hand directly in all
Otherwise
of that.
we would
Jovan,
have pure chaos. Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on. Pure chaos, which you don't know what that actually is. Jovan then brought up the duck's penis and how it has to forcibly copulate, and you said that it doesn't, that the one duck doesn't rape the other duck because they don't employ rationality. Then what we did was we tried to use that standard in order to apply it to other animals in the animal kingdom that do express levels of rationality, and so that just further exposed that you are specially pleading for humans in this particular respect because you don't think that we're animals. Now, if we can get back to the actual conversation of why your God would actually, do things like, design animals to rape each other, do you think that your God just likes rape, or like was he dozing off that day in class?
Well, I mean, you misrepresented my argument earlier.
Oh, shit.
Humans are rational animals. Just because an animal may display rudimentary levels of rationality doesn't make them rational animal. Just like you wouldn't say you would infer
that makes no sense.
The same morality on a 2-year-old like you would a 32-year-old. The 2-year-old may not know right or wrong. They're going to act in a more instinctive nature than a 32-year-old. That's why in cases of murder, some children are tried as
I think
adults.
you're missing. I think what I've realized here is you're assuming when I'm talking about ducks raping ducks, you're assuming I'm coming at it from like a moral way. But no, what I'm asking you is why would God
using the word rape that has connotations to it? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll say forced
copulation. And you're saying that they're forcibly.
It is force. It is force.
And forcibly connotation again that their ducks are just doing what ducks do.
Female ducks try to run away,
and just like
that implies force.
Just like chimpanzees.
This is
incoherent. I'm not a female duck. I couldn't tell you what's going on in their head.
David,
just like chimpanzees attack other.
David, why would an intelligent mind design a species in which the only way they can reproduce is through causing harm and suffering?
I don't think that's what's happening. You're placing those words on what's actually happening.
Female ducks,
saying, well, that's the way it is.
Female ducks experience pain, therefore they are suffering. There's pain that they don't need to experience that they are. That is like verbatim what suffering is. Animals can suffer.
Right. Yeah, and just to show you that this is hold on, David. So this is actually not a single situation in nature here. We actually see it across various species, like bottlenose dolphins. They form groups and actually surround females, and they force them into a situation that would coerce them into mating. Orangutans, dominant males will violently overcome a female's resistance to mate. Sea otters. You know what sea otters do? Sea otters creatures will actually physically hurt the female and hold them underwater while they're raping them. So like this is there's various species across the spectrum of animals in the animal kingdom that obviously are causing pain and harm to the person that they are forcibly copulating with. Whether or not you want to describe it as rape, it's still like this is very obviously something that God designed into the animals. And you just gotta wonder why God likes watching animals rape each other like this. Like it's just weird.
He gets off on it.
Well, if you'll let me make my point here, I can tell you that, one, I can't say definitively that they were created in that specific manner. Have they adapted to their environment, and that's how they act now in 2026?
If God didn't want them to, if God didn't want them to act like this, he would have just God has the omni properties, which means he would have known when he created the universe that these creatures would have evolved to do this. So he could have influenced the forces of the universe to not do this.
If the end purpose was procreation, and they adapted towards that end in those particular forms,
the end purpose is procreation. He should have made it so that you can procreate without harming the other person. He should have made it so they could procreate without the harm. But that's the end of our conversation, David. So we are going to move on because somebody paid to move on. So I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I also don't think that David knows what chaos is, because I feel, and that was something that I guess I was trying to get back around to, but there was no natural get back around to it. But
I don't think he was using chaos in like the way that science defines chaos.
Yeah, I don't think so. I agree with you that he wasn't using it, because like chaos, I would assume in a more scientific sense would be like something that happens without any kind of like underlying cause, is what he was trying to say. And like that's just not how nature operates.
Chaos, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. I had it saved during that call because I was going to bring it up, but we moved off of it. Chaos would be defined as a system that follows chaos is a system that follows deterministic rules but becomes extremely sensitive to tiny differences in starting conditions. That's like how science defines chaos. I'm pretty sure he was just defining chaos as this doesn't obey a set of rules. But like the rules, it's not that these, maybe I should have brought this up. It's not that these things are obeying rules. We've just observed that these are how these things operate. So we are writing the rules based on observed operations. Anyway, that was from April on Venmo. Wanted to move on. We have one more call today. We have our final call. I'm going to close the lines and we'll take this last call. John, it's been fun having you here, friend.
Oh yeah,
we'll have to get you on a Wednesday when we have Dalton here too, because that's when we typically do our Theist stuff. But I wanted to get the Mendisa thing in, and this was the only. I didn't have any more free Wednesdays that already don't have people coming on before the event.
Yeah, no, I totally. I'm you just let me know whenever you want me to come on, and I'll see if my schedule allows it.
All right, let's bring in the last person. Oops. Coming up, last person on the list here is Jim. Jim is calling to talk about topic number 2, the Christian God is good. So Jim from West Virginia. Jim, if you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns.
Hey, I'm 25. I'm a he, him.
Okay, now Jim,
awesome.
We believe the Christian God is a big old meanie poopy headed poo-poo pants. Are you going to be able to convince us that he is good?
Perhaps. I mean, I would ask, by what moral stance is he a big meanie poo-poo head?
His own.
Whatever you said. What's that?
His own.
His own? And how'd you explain
that? Because God states in the Bible not to unjustly do harm to people, but he unjustly does harm to people.
But if he is justice himself, he can't do something unjustly.
Prove God is justice.
He's the logos. He is the fundamental reality.
That was just restating you just restated the premise. I asked you to ground the premise.
Tag transcendental argument for God. I mean, you have to have the Christian God to justify like logic and reason, non-contradiction. It has to be a personal
All right,
God.
justify. No,
The Christian God.
how is God necessary for logic? We'll
He's
start
a
there.
personal God. Yeah.
No, that doesn't explain anything.
A
How
little
does
bit,
God
but
ground logic? Do you know what the 3 laws of logic are?
non-contradiction, identity, and I'm blanking on that third one.
Excluded middle. So
Right.
where is
Might be a
God?
little
Can you tell
unprepared.
me why do we need God to make sense of those 3 laws of logic?
I'll have to get back to you. I was less prepared than I thought.
I mean, yeah, I would just say the tag argument is just entirely circular, you know? It just assumes that God has to
Right. I
exist
think
for these
most of
things
them are
without really
circular, though.
Sure, I mean, you can get
Huh?
into the fact that almost any argument on a worldview is going to get into like dogma eventually, right? It's just going to hit like I
Right.
believe because I believe. But like when I say like how do I describe it? The reason why in Christianity typically we believe that God is judgment and God is all just is simply because God told us that, right? My argument is just like,
Right.
what if homeboy lied? He's lied before. What if he's lying about this thing? In which case, God is not all just. He's just telling us that. We just assume he is because he tells us he is.
All right. I mean, I'll have to
And,
look into it.
and yeah, and then I would say to make I guess an argument that he's definitely not is that you can judge him by his actions. I mean, unless you're going to get into divine command theory, which just means that you're just going to label any action that God commands or instructs people to do is just and good just by the very nature that God said it. That's going to cause you to justify things like stabbing babies in the face, taking sexual slaves like Epstein. Like, I mean, it'll make you justify horrible concepts there. So like, do you really want to be justifying like Epstein sex trafficking? Is that what you want to do?
No, I would just ask, how would you
Okay.
justify something?
Well, so me and John, well, I think John is a secular humanist. I actually wouldn't label
Yes.
myself anything. I don't necessarily know that if anything, I guess maybe secular humanism. I may be an emotivist. I don't really label myself as anything one in particular because I don't necessarily think that locking myself into any prescription on my moral values makes sense for me. But like you're Christian, right, Jim?
Yes.
What denomination?
Orthodox.
Orthodox. Okay. Interesting. So like based upon your worldview, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are heavily believe in like the traditions of Christianity. Like you fully believe in the Trinity. You believe in Jesus being God. All of this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different than the rest of the definitions, but essentially, yeah.
Okay, let's just analyze some of what you believe to be good and some of what the Bible believes to be or I won't even say good. What you to believe to be morally permissible and what the Bible believes to be morally permissible, right? I would assume in the year of our Lord 2026, you would believe that slavery is a morally impermissible action. That it is wrong for one human to own another human as property.
I would default to whatever the church says. If the church says that's wrong, then it's wrong.
Which church specifically?
The Orthodox Church.
Okay. So you would not default to what the rules belayed to us in the Bible are. You would default to what man's interpretation of those rules are.
It's one thing. The Bible is a liturgical text. That's its original purpose. The church predates the Bible.
The church does not predate Moses giving the laws on Mount Sinai, like at all. It comes well after that.
Well, no, the church doesn't predate that, but the fact that they decided that text belonged there, that is the church.
But how does the church? But this is what I'm saying. God or the Bible specifically relays 2 major pieces of information to us. One is that all scripture is God breathed. right? All scripture is holy and it's the word of God. And two is that the laws of the old prophets have never been abolished or rewritten or taken away. The Bible clearly admonishes these two things. God allowing for slavery to be a morally permissible act is a law of the old prophets. It's specifically a law given to Moses to give to the Hebrew people on Mount Sinai. God never walks back this law. He never removes it. He never says this is all of a sudden bad. It is still in via the text of the book morally permissible. If the church is now telling us this isn't, there is a contradiction here between what the church is saying and what the book says. So how do I know which
I'm not
one to
even
believe?
necessarily saying that. I'm necessarily saying that the church is saying it isn't permissible.
Okay.
If the church said it's permissible, then
Sorry, you cut out there.
I'm with the church, the Orthodox Church, essentially. The Bible, we're not sola scriptura. That's not how we operate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if the church says it.
So modern Orthodox churches reject slavery as a morally permissible action. So how do I square this circle when the Bible is clearly telling me it is morally permissible and the church is telling me it is not?
Like the church is the governing body, is being left behind by God. So if the church has decided it's not, then
who determined that the Orthodox
is not.
Church was the governing body?
Jesus Christ.
When did Jesus say this?
When he set up the College of Apostles.
Sorry, can you give me a direct verse?
Oh, let me look real quick. Where does Jesus?
It's really weird. I just looked it up. And historically, the Eastern Orthodox Church did not formally reject or condemn the institution of slavery as a whole. Is that the one, the Eastern Orthodox Church?
Yeah.
Is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm showing that they do reject
didn't.
it currently. They probably did. I mean, during slavery times, they sure didn't. But I'm showing that like right now, they reject it as an institution, as a morally permissible institution.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark 3:13 through 14, and Luke 6:12 through 13. Jesus went up on a mountainside and called to him those he wanted, and they came to him. He appointed 12 that they might be with him, and that they might send, and he might send them out to preach. And then,
but
one of these days,
how does
Jesus
this
went out.
relate?
Yeah.
How does this relate to the Orthodox Church?
We have apostolic succession, so we have the founding apostles, and then we have their successors that track now all the way back. The Orthodox Church is the church of the first 1,000 years after Christ.
Okay, well, this would be no. The Eastern Orthodox Church came out of this. Would be the creation of the like apostolic church that the Eastern Orthodox Church eventually became out of. But I don't think this is this shows a good continuity
No, it is
here.
No, the Romans split off, so before the Romans split off, it was one church. When they split off, the Eastern Orthodox took that name, Orthodox meaning, retaining.
Okay,
But we're
so
Orthodox
essentially what we're saying here is the church can override the Bible.
It's not necessarily overriding; it's more of an interpretation thing.
Well, no, it would definitely be an overwrite here, right? Jesus Christ, remix. It would definitely be an overwrite. Like God specifically says you may own slaves. He says this verbatim, and he never takes this back. If the church is now saying no, it's wrong to do this. This is a direct overwrite of God's rules.
I mean, that's what you're saying. Obviously, from your point of view, I'm sure if I spoke to like an Orthodox person, it would be different. So I just would default to the church.
So but again, this is why I'm asking how we square this away. If the book that is supposed to be no,
but that's not what we believe.
You don't believe that so you don't believe that when Moses wrote down the Levitical laws, you don't believe that this was accurate?
No, it's accurate. I'm saying we don't worship the Bible.
But I'm not talking about the Bible
Like the
specifically
Bible,
as the tool of worship. I'm saying what were the okay, let me rephrase the question. Were the laws given to the Hebrew people by Moses accurately described in the Bible?
yeah,
Okay. So then you would
the
agree
Orthodox
that
Bible, ours.
per the laws given by Moses, God views slavery as a morally permissible action.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that the Orthodox Church disagrees with these laws given down by Moses. But in
I
where
mean, I'm not sure. I haven't checked. It is the Eastern.
Okay, then let's operate under both premises. If the church does not disagree that slavery is morally permissible, like let's say the church does
Right.
not agree, they think slavery is not morally permissible. Do I believe the direct word of God or do I believe the church?
The church.
You would
If
believe the
it's in
church
the,
over
you
direct
know, we
word of
had.
God.
Are you if they align with it, then yeah, I would. I mean, I'm
This
saying
would be
that the church is
disaligning.
in concert. Oh,
Like if the church
I
is
would
saying
have
it's
to
not morally
see.
permissible, right? And we're just operating under the premise that they do, like, right? I'm not saying they do or don't, but operating under the premise that they do. Let's
Oh,
say the church says that this is not morally permissible, but the Bible, but God, not the Bible, God specifically says it is. Who do I listen to?
I mean, in this situation, God.
Okay. So so that's situation A. Situation A, would be that the church is lying or in disalignment with God, which would lead me to not follow the church. But now let's do situation B. Let's say the church is in total alignment with God and says, yes, it is morally permissible to own slaves.
Yeah.
You would agree with this. You would then say, like, if somebody was like, yeah, I own a slave, I have my slave, you would be like, okay, okay, that's fine.
I mean, if it's the God and the church's stance, then yeah.
So if the church
Yeah, I
comes
believe
back
it as.
and says slavery is morally permissible, you would say then that the United States government did a bad thing by implementing the 13th Amendment because they went directly against God and the church.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. I'd probably just be neutral on it.
Would
If a
would
country,
doing
it's not
something
like the Bible says you have to own slaves. It just says you can.
if God tells me I can do something and the government steps in and takes that thing away, that wouldn't be going against God?
I suppose.
So then you would say that if situation B is accurate and the church and the
Yeah.
God are in alignment, that it is morally permissible to own slaves, by that nature, you would have to say that it was bad that the United States government passed the 13th Amendment and freed the slaves because they were directly going against what God deemed okay.
Yeah.
And you don't see an issue with that.
I just don't understand what the issue would be if the absolute moral, authority, of course, in my view, says something's okay. Like, who am I to say it's not? By like some subjective.
I mean,
lens.
decent fucking people can readily identify that slavery is a horrible practice.
What if God
But
says it's okay
what I'm saying.
What if God were to show up tomorrow and the church agreed and said it is morally okay to slice babies open with a katana?
Well, the thing is, Revelations ended, so that's not gonna happen. It is what it is.
Okay, sure. Let's talk about the previous babies God said it was okay to brutalize.
Yeah, he did it.
And that was like good. Like when God told Moses in Numbers to go and slaughter all of the Midianite children, this was a morally good act that Moses did.
With the exception of the virgin girls, which they then took to rape.
Like I said, I mean, y'all can present all the different things you don't like, but if it's God's
Can you
will,
so hold on? Do you condemn or condone God's act in telling the Israelites to stab babies in the face?
Yes, I condone. It's not up to me, of
Okay.
course. It's God's will.
That's a fucking wild right there. Everybody needs to check his hard drive. Like, I mean, like
just
all the law
being
enforcement agencies.
I guess this is just my issue is like, if God is the overall arbiter of what is right, and we take what God has done, then it's right to genocide babies. It's right to take women as sex slaves. It's right to sick bears on children if they call you bald. It's right to kill everyone in the world except for, what was it, 8 people? It's right to do incest. Like, these are all things God allows for.
Yeah, he allowed for it at the time. I mean, yeah. I just don't
God
understand.
is
like,
eternal, so whatever he
how
says
do you
is
how
right
do you
one
know
way
what?
is.
How would you know those things are wrong? That's what I'm confused about. Those things seem like
Like
they're
I
wrong
said,
to you,
secular
but like by
humanism.
what standard? Huh?
Right. Well, secular humanism focuses on reducing the amount of harm that is caused, and it also puts an emphasis on the flourishing of society as well as just living creatures in general. Stabbing babies in the face and raping small children obviously increases harm immensely. So, like, that would obviously be immoral. There you go. Now, can
So
you
what makes like
can you
harm
make a
wrong?
same can you make a similar argument
What
using
makes
God?
harm wrong? Well, I'm just asking what makes
It's
harm wrong.
definitionally bad. Like,
But
harm
like,
being bad is
why?
axiomatic.
Ontologically, it's bad.
Yeah.
So you just like because you don't like it?
Nope.
No, it reduces the ability, like it reduces the ability to like live and flourish and you
Why
know,
is it good to
propagate
like
and all this.
live and flourish?
So you can just play these whataboutisms all you want to.
Yeah, again, it's
But
just
that's like what y'all done.
ontologically
To
good.
be fair, isn't that what y'all done for the last like the what about thing?
No, that we haven't been doing whataboutism. We've been doing logic tests. Logic tests and
What about
whataboutisms are
when
different.
God did this? What about
Yes,
what
this
about
is
when
a
God did that?
that is a wait. There's a difference between testing your logic and doing a whataboutism. If
Okay,
your
well, my logic,
if your
consistent.
logic is God is the I'm not claiming your logic wasn't consistent. I question your logic's grounding. Neither of us have claimed your logic wasn't consistent. We've had more claims
But
on
it's
the grounding of
grounded as
said
well.
logic. I would disagree that it's grounded.
But it is. It's
Or you know what? Let me rephrase
it's
that. I would
objective.
say it's not sound. It's consistent, but it's not sound.
But it's absolute, whereas yours is relative.
Yours is also relative.
Right.
You've literally
Not at all.
explained to us in this call how God acts differently now than he did before. That means yours is also exactly as
No,
relative as ours is.
He's been the same always.
Then
Nothing
slavery
has
is
changed.
well, no, he's not the same, because God used to be a God of vengeance, and now he's a God of mercy. Those are two complete. Old Testament God and New Testament God have completely different natures. It's because they're different
But no,
characters.
Jesus Christ
But
is in the Old Testament.
Jesus Christ is not in the Old Testament, not once.
He absolutely is.
He's not.
The angel of the Lord.
That's not Jesus Christ.
That is Jesus Christ.
No, it's not.
I mean, I don't know if were you formally Christian at any point?
No.
Are you around?
I don't know what
like,
that
Protestants?
matters.
It's just a very Protestant view to say Christ is not in the
I know
Old
it's
Testament.
no, it's not nothing to do with being Protestant. It's that to do with every attempt to fit Jesus into the Old Testament is a retroactive fit thousands of years later. The Old Testament didn't write about Jesus. They wrote about figures that they tried to put Jesus into. What?
Who did Jacob wrestle with?
Who did Jacob wrestle with when?
Who believe
it's just a
Jacob
man.
Jacob wrestles with God.
He just wrestles with a man. There's some mysterious figure that Jacob wrestles with, but no, there's no wait. Based on what? It's not even described in any way that Jesus is described.
What do you mean?
I mean the way Jesus is described in the New Testament. Everybody, there are 50% of all people are men.
So what about like before Abraham was I am?
Do we need to get into that? So ego eimi is just a common expression used at the time It more just means like, I'm here. Here it's me. It's not him
But
making a
before
statement that,
Abraham?
yeah, ego eimi is used all over the place in the Bible. It's not just used in before Abraham, I am. I am in Greek, right, is just like a common way to say this is me. It's used all
Isn't
over
he
the
speaking
place in the
Aramaic?
Bible. No, the Bible is written in Greek. The New Testament is written in Greek. And ego
Okay.
eimi is the Greek for when Jesus says I am. That's like when God, why in the Greek Septuagint, when God says to Moses, I am who I am, he says ego eimi. It just sort of means it's me. Here I am. Me. There are plenty of
And
places in
then
the
I and the
Bible where
Father are one.
there are plenty of places. Jesus also says he's one with the apostles. Does that mean the apostles are God? No. That again is just common Christian phrasing. Like, we're going to talk about whether Jesus claims he's God. It's nowhere. He never makes that claim. That claim is always made around him. He actually always separates himself from God. Save
Whoa.
for common phrasing like me and the Father are one, but he says all are one. It's said in the Bible all the time. All are one in the Lord, right? It's Jesus says that him and the apostles are one. That's just a common phrasing to me, that like everybody is with like everybody is shared in common like nature and whatnot. Not that he's divine.
So when you talk about the New
I-
Testament God, you're not talking about Jesus?
No, Jesus would be a prophet. He would be per the lore of the
Whoa.
New Testament, per the canon, he would be a
Is
prophet.
that
He
the
would be
belief of the first 1,000 years of the church? And like the Nicene
well,
Metropolitan
I
Creed
think
and
that I think the church wrote their own rule set based on what they wanted to argue.
but you're reading their Bible. Like
I'm
the
reading
Bible came
their
out like
Bible.
400 years later. Yeah.
What?
The people that put the Bible
No.
together that you're reading believe Jesus Christ to be the eternally begotten Son of God.
I'm not reading I'm reading a collection of books they all like stapled together.
But there was multiple councils to get to that point. It was like, I think, around 400 years.
Whoopty,
get the
the
book.
text differs from what they say.
It does not.
Yes, it does. Why does Jesus separate himself from God constantly in the New Testament? Why does he say
God
when
the
I
Father?
go to heaven? Yes, he says when I go to heaven, I will be sat at the right hand of God. If Jesus is God,
Right.
he would not be sitting at the right hand. He would be him. This is a clear
Well, it's
separation.
Trinitarian.
Yeah.
It's
No.
Trinitarian.
Go ahead, John.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say the Trinitarian view of Jesus and God and the Holy Ghost and everything like that is a much later interpretation. It's not it's not actually in the original text there. I get that you go outside of that and you allow other people to define, God's the rules and everything like
Well, the
that for
people
God,
I let
but
the people that put the Bible together define it.
yeah, well, so does anybody, let me ask you this, does anybody know the mind of God?
No.
Okay, then there's no way for these people to know the mind of God. And so why would you trust somebody that proclaims to know the mind of God when God himself, just going by your own internal logic here, God himself says that nobody can know what I'm thinking.
I mean,
So
the
we would
Holy
have
Spirit
to stick.
is capable of filling a person. The Holy Spirit
Trust
was
me,
at
I
all
know
nine
the Holy Spirit
ecumenical
can go
councils.
elbow deep. I know the Holy Spirit can go elbow deep. Okay. But the point of fact is that you can't actually discern between somebody filled up giggity with the Holy Spirit versus them just bullshitting you.
But how do you know that?
That we can't tell the difference between bullshit and being filled with the Holy Spirit?
Or even how do you know that you can't know the mind of God? Like, where does that come from?
It says it in the Bible.
Okay, and who put the Bible together?
I mean, according to tradition, it's God breathed. So I mean, it's God inspired.
No, but did God like come down and like print the books out?
I mean, he had the book written. He either he inspired it. Like, what was it? I know it's in an epistle by Paul that says, "What all scripture is
God
meant
breathed.
for."
This is way more
God breathed,
Protestant than I
and
expected.
Well, I guess my issue is when we have people who go, well, the Bible's wrong here. Why can't I just now
No, I
assume the
believe it's
Bible's
right
wrong?
everywhere.
Well, you don't.
I do.
You don't, because you don't agree with us that the Bible is God breathed. You would say it's wrong about that.
It is God breathed, but it didn't just appear.
Is the Bible accurate? Is the Bible accurate in everything that it says?
Oh yeah.
Then why are you arguing with us on this?
Well, because I'm not from I think you don't understand, like, the church of the first 1,000 years, which is now the Eastern Orthodoxy. We're not sola scriptura. Like, it's not.
See,
it's
here's
not
why I
just the
think sola
Bible.
scriptura. Here's why I think you not being sola scriptura is kind of bullshit here. If you're proclaiming that your God is like perfect, that he's omniscient, omnibenevolent, and all those triomni properties and everything like that, why did God have to come back and correct himself on shit? Like, it seems like he should be able to get the first draft down, and that it's like just drop pin, huh?
I think it's different. He's the same as all the time. He
I mean,
came
if
so
that
that
were
we
the
could
case,
be
then
with
we
him.
would still be employing slavery, and the Orthodox Church would still be propping
But
slavery
right, you
up
don't have a
instead of
reason
rejecting it.
for. You don't have an objective reason for slavery being
There we go.
wrong. So it's kind of like
See,
null.
and now we're back to
You don't.
this.
Neither do you.
That's what
We're up shit creek with one paddle, there,
Huh?
Jovan. We're up shit
Jim,
creek with one paddle.
I just want to point this out. Under what objective and subjective morality are, you also don't have an objective reason to believe slavery is wrong.
Okay. It was whatever God says.
That would be subjective.
Whatever.
Yes,
How
that's
is that
stance
subjective?
dependent.
He's all-knowing.
It's stance dependent.
Subjective means that it is mind dependent. The only way to get to it is through a mind. The mind would be God.
Right.
So therefore, when you say,
told us these things.
Yes, based on his subjective will, which we know he has changed, based off the fact that slavery is not moral anymore.
But that's just what you're saying. He didn't say that.
John, you got anything else?
No, I mean the whenever it gets into the moral argument thing, they're just going to go to divine command theory, which just has them, apologizing for horrible actions and all that. Like Ephesians 5, that just means defending.
Oh.
Anyways,
Yeah, I mean,
like Ephesians 5 has marital rape instituted into Christianity, and so my guess is that he probably doesn't have he doesn't think that marital rape is a thing that happens, and it just causes otherwise good people to actually. Oh, does it? That's surprising.
Let me ask you a simple question. Simple question, Jim. Is something good because God commands it, or does God command it because it's good?
Something good because he commands it, or is it? He is the good, so if it is good, it is of him.
So something is good because God commands it.
Not because it's like he is good.
There are only two options here. Either something is good.
Well, I don't have to play to like the dichotomy.
You do actually.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You do. Either good. When I say is something good because God commands it, that's basically essentially saying God is all goodness. And what God says is good is good. And if I said, does God command it because it's good? That's saying goodness exists outside of God. And he just is a good barometer from
outside of him.
Okay. So then anything can become good as long as God commands it. Torture can be good if God commands it. Genocide is good if God commands it. If God commands someone rapes their parents, that's good because God commands it.
Yep, there was a mom actually that received a message from God that said that she should kill all of her kids so that they would be in heaven
Yeah, but we don't.
with
That's
him.
not accepted
Oh,
among the Orthodox
oh, is that not?
community.
Well, how do you know God didn't?
No,
How
he's
do
not.
you know God didn't approach her?
There's no new revelation.
I didn't say it was like a revelation,
He,
but I mean, she got a message from
he's not like
God,
doing
and
that anymore.
not that it should be any kind of new command, but apparently God approached her. How do you know she didn't have that experience?
I'm saying with our belief, we don't believe that God like comes down in that way anymore.
Okay, well, I mean, that's a nice belief you got there, but unless you have evidence that it wasn't God, then I feel like there's no way that you can actually say that God didn't approach her and didn't say, "Hey, go kill your kids," because if God says it, then it's good.
Well,
If God were to appear to you, hold on, if God were to appear to you right now in your living room, right, unequivocally, you knew it was God, it was Jesus right there in the living room, and he told you, "I want you to go next door and I want you to kill everybody in that house because they're unbelievers," would you do it?
like I said, he doesn't do that, so I would know it wasn't him.
Then
No,
wait, if you're saying God's nature would mean that he never does that, then divine command theory is not.
No, not his nature. It's like he doesn't show up like that. We don't believe he does that.
Did God do that at one time?
Yeah.
Did God
when
show
he
up?
was revealing himself.
Right. God revealed himself to Moses and said, "Hey, go and stab those babies in the face," when he was talking about the Midianites
Right, but
and
the
the Amalekites.
revelation has ended.
Right.
Okay.
The
Okay.
revelation
Really
has
quickly,
ended.
Jim, really quickly. If God commanded you torture an innocent child, would that be morally good?
But I'm saying he doesn't just come down and command.
Why not?
So it wouldn't happen.
What if he did? What if he did?
But he doesn't.
What if he did?
I don't have to.
Does God have the
that.
Does God have the power to still come down and command things?
He does. I mean,
so what if he did?
He's all powerful.
Jim, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
I know the IQ thing. Okay.
How would you
I would
feel?
be hungry if I didn't eat breakfast this
Okay,
morning.
so great. So now engage with this hypothetical. If God came down and commanded you torture an innocent child, would that be morally good?
If I could verify without a
It's already pre-baked into the hypothetical that it's verifiable without a doubt that it's God. Because I'm saying God came down and did this. So the hypothetical, it's already verified.
to be consistent, I would have to.
Okay. So it will now be God would make it morally good to torture an innocent child. That's okay. And you think your logic is sound.
But I don't understand, like, how do you know it's wrong?
Sometimes
You said
being
it's harm.
consistent. Sometimes being consistent doesn't mean that your logic is sound. Sometimes it's better to have sound logical reasoning than consistent logical reasoning, right?
But you guys have no, like, grounding.
Incorrect. We've already said secular humanism is a grounding.
Yep. But it's not. It has no, like, objective
ontologically
setup.
It is
There's nothing.
ontologically secular reasoning, like ontologically it would just be. It is just the case that harm is bad ontologically.
But how do you know that? Like,
are we for real?
It just is. Like, I'm confused.
Do you know what ontologically means?
Could you explain it to me?
I don't really want to. I'm going to sound like fucking Phil, bro. Ontologically just means it's the nature of the thing. So it is the nature of harm to be bad. That's just the nature of being harm.
So harm is bad, so we ought not do it?
Yes.
Where does the ought come from? And how does nature, like, material things can't be right or wrong. Right?
I'm gonna break here in a second. Swear to God. We've already answered these questions. No, Jim, we've already answered these questions.
Swear to God. No, I'm just curious, like you're like putting some order onto material things, but there is none without, like, a God.
You're just using circular reasoning there.
Yeah, you haven't
You
actually
have
stated.
not.
Can you substantiate that? Can you substantiate that God is necessary for that?
I mean, it's just the shit. Yeah,
Ah, fuck! Stepped on a rake.
irrationality of the contrary or something. It's like yours doesn't work.
Well, you're just saying that now. This is pathetic. You're just like, yeah, but yours doesn't work. Like you're just.
I mean, it
you're
does.
Is
floundering.
Jim
Like you
Jim is
just like put
flourishing
values on the
is flourishing preferable to suffering?
in what system? Like in what epistemology? Like where? I don't understand. In your paradigm, which I'm assuming is you believe there's no like metaphysics, nothing
I gotta
outside
let
of
you
the
know,
material.
I had to start the Philbro commandments here. I can't believe when I ask you a very simple question, is flourishing preferable to suffering? You go, well, in like what system? What do you mean? In what? Would
It's
you
a good
let
question. I
Jim?
mean,
It's not. It's terrible. Jim, would you prefer to flourish or to suffer?
yes, I would prefer to flourish,
So
but not
flourishing
like
is preferable to
because I
suffering,
like
Jim?
it.
I didn't ask about the reasons
Yeah,
why.
go
I'm just
forth and
asking you, is
multiply.
flourishing preferable to suffering?
So I can't say the reason why. I just have to answer yes or no.
I didn't ask you the reason. I was just asking if it is. Is it the case that
Yeah,
that beings prefer to flourish than to
yeah.
suffer?
In my system,
In your system.
Do sentient beings have interests, Jim?
they seem to.
Okay, and would those interests be flourishing?
For some, not for others. I mean, people kill themselves.
So just FYI, when people kill themselves, it's because they are suffering and they want to end the suffering because it is preferable to not suffer. To them, death is flourishing.
Yeah, someone with clinical depression, I can affirm
Sometimes.
that.
Not sometimes.
You should check out the church, man. I'll help you out of that clinical depression.
Nope.
In no way. Jim, you have 3 minutes and 15 seconds before the Philbro timer boots you. Is there anything else you want to try to?
Timer?
Yeah, you went Philbro, so we had to go Philbro.
No, this was a good first try. I enjoyed this. I know what I gotta brush up on. Yeah, it's fun.
Good is a good based on what system?
Christian. I'll get better at apologetics.
So this was a good try based on the Christian system?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was learning.
What constitutes a good try? Is it stepping on every single rake that you could possibly step on to smack yourself in the face? Because I feel like that's what you were doing the entire
maybe
time.
I won't. Next time, maybe I won't. I know.
I like how you just admitted that. I like how you just admitted that you're doing apologetics.
Yeah.
And that you're not here to
I
critically
didn't even
look
know
at your
it was
position.
called before now.
Well, yeah, you're not here to critically look at your position. You just want to find out arguments
I
so you can
listened to
further.
you.
Well, no, you've completely admitted that you're just doing apologetics. When you go, I know what arguments I have to work on now. That's apologetics.
Mm-hmm. You're just looking to defend the faith. You're not actually, because you refuse to. Like you refuse to critically analyze like ours and actually critically.
But your whole
consider
position
them.
is like, bro, it's just bad. Bro, it's just good.
No, in fact, that's
Aristotle
actually what
is
you
turning
did with
in his
your
fucking
God.
grave, bro.
Ironically, you're just projecting onto us what you were doing the entire time, because you were just making statements about God and said, "Oh, well, that's what
you
the
shouldn't
church
harm
says.
people.
That's what
Why
God
not?
says." We've already established this.
And yours is because of what you said.
It's because flourishing is preferable to suffering.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have like a higher good. There's no like it's
we don't
preferable.
have to have a higher
good.
good.
The higher good would be to have the least amount of suffering as possible, because then you're maximizing good.
Like if it's all material.
What do you mean? Who cares? The
It's all
beings that
material,
suffer all would care.
But it's just little like chemicals in their brain.
So
I don't see how that diminishes
So then,
anything.
like, why?
Why is it that you guys think
doesn't
atheists all exist in like a nihilistic framework?
Well, I mean, whether you admit it or not, you do. It's
I don't
materialist.
actually. I actually think it's really bad when humans suffer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's
Yeah,
just
but
chemicals
you
in the
say
brain. I care about
bad,
the
but
I
it's
care about
like,
the
it's just
experiences
something
that they're
you
going
don't
through.
like. It's not objectively right or wrong.
Neither is yours.
Yeah, yours is
So you
mind
say.
dependent just as much as ours is.
What the fuck?
You just choose you just choose the genocidal blood god that requires child sacrifice as well as genocide
Okay,
in
are
order
you
to
cool
please
with
them.
abortion? If we're gonna go genocide baby,
Let's just
whatever, are you
go
cool with
with
abortion?
Yes,
fucking-
because fetuses aren't sentient, so they don't experience, so they wouldn't experience suffering.
Okay. So somebody's
Someone
not
in the
sentient,
chat.
it's okay to kill them.
Yes, because they're
So
not experiencing suffering. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Filbro timer done. See ya.
yeah, somebody in the chat said Jim is clown maxing. That's
Oh my
great.
god, bro. What the fuck, dude?
Damn.
Oh shit, dude. Today was crazy.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you letting me on and interact with some of these people here. This has been great. I've loved the chat. I've loved the conversations. It's been great, Jovan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. I get some crazy callers over on my stream. Guys, tomorrow is unfortunately, tomorrow I'm going to continue playing Garten of Banban. We're on episode 3, and I'm gonna continue episode 3 of Garten of Banban. So if you want to enjoy my suffering, join us tomorrow for that. John, thank you so much for being here, buddy. Thank you for joining me on stream. Shout out to Mandisa again for coming in and talking about ROR. Shout out to the people that won the giveaways. And yeah, John, anything else you want to say? If you want to point people where they can find you again, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just like Jovan here, I'm sure trying to hit that 100K mark. So we're both at 75K right now. So if y'all want to go, if y'all liked, the conversations today and everything like that, go over to Godless Engineer here on YouTube. It's actually in the title of the stream today, or you could just type in Godless Engineer and you'll be able to find me up there in the YouTube search bar.
All right, GG. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you guys tomorrow. TTFN. I think isn't Takis about to start? Go to Takis, guys. Go watch.
Yep.
Go peep Takis over on the line. That's a good use of our time. Goodbye.